All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. Mr. PJ Ladd is with us. How are you, dude?
Good.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Dude, hey, first of all, thank you so much for coming, man. This has been great, dude. I don't think I've seen you in a long time. Maybe... Honestly, the last probably time I saw you was like Battle of the Barracks, maybe. We had a good conversation over there. Or just maybe about barracks session or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
Might have been it. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. What, we were just talking before the show, and like you skate like every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you going, man? I don't know why that's funny, dude, but like seriously, because like I feel like as we get older, sometimes it's harder to keep up with what we're doing. Like, do you just need it? Is it what keeps you? What's the drive?
Maybe love.
Yeah,
love of the game.
Perfect. I love that.
I'm feeling healthier than I've ever felt, so that's a plus.
How? Why so healthy? Have you just been eating properly, exercising?
Yeah, I mean, I never, party too hard. Never done a drug in my life.
Okay.
Never even smoked weed.
Wow.
I could probably count on my hands how many times I drank.
Okay.
And that was like, 20 years old,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm healthiest I've ever been.
Love that.
It doesn't hurt that I've done at least 2.5 hours of yoga and meditation every day for 15 years plus. So that,
Wait,
is a
2.5 hours?
That's a big help, at least.
What's a PJ Ladd day? You were waking up.
At least the last time I missed a day was 2013. So that was 13 years ago. Yeah, 13 years.
Wow.
Do you go to
there's a lot of energy to work with.
Do you go to? I know, but do you go to a class? Like, how do you? Yeah.
I do it at home.
Oh, you do
I have
it?
my personal practice.
Okay.
But I do have a teacher. Go to class.
Gotcha. That's rad,
That's amazing,
dude.
bro.
I didn't know. I feel like, yeah, man. Damn. That's one thing I need to get into. One thing at a time for me, though. But that's cool. Yeah, 13 years.
Well, 2005 is when I started.
Wow.
But then I had a daily practice. It's kind of developed in 2010. Go to classes around that time, and then really stuck with it.
Do you
So
wake
it
up?
Helps.
Do you wake up and do it, or?
Oh, we're just going right into it, aren't we?
Well,
Let's do it.
it's interesting, because like I
Dive
feel.
in.
Here's the thing, dude. This is what I'm saying, man. It's like we get older. I feel like some of our skills can diminish. Our body can diminish a little bit depending on how you take care of it. And I ask you, like, what drives you? Because like, I look at your skateboarding, like. You can still do anything you want on the board, which is like phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I love that. I love that you could just jump on your board, you skate every day, and you could just still keep up with the best of them,
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. I mean, the yogis say you may leave your body one day, but you don't have to grow old. And I hope that I'm getting better every day on all levels, just as a person, before I even step on a board.
Right.
I'm getting healthier. Clearer, smarter, stronger. So that's my attitude.
I love that.
And the body will follow the mind. It's the mental component that usually weighs people down. It starts to bog down the body.
So true.
So that's where meditation comes in, which is popular nowadays, where it was never really talked about decades and decades ago. But now it's like on every corner, and everybody's kind of talking about it because they realized that they had to, take out the trash. It's like a desktop computer. You have a trash bin, and it fills up, starts to slow down the computer, So you got to empty the trash bin, and then you're clearer, focus, and, the physical component of whatever it is you're doing in life becomes much easier, becomes more of a flow.
Man, I think my trash can is just overflowing. I think they brought in more trash cans to put on the curb.
So funny.
How do you?
I can feel that
things are speeding up.
Yeah.
In general. So the pressure on the psyche in this information age is mega.
Right.
So you need a technology to sort of direct the mind. Everybody said that. Every society, every tradition, spiritual or other, you got to direct the mind in a sort of positive upward direction, and the body will follow.
Right.
But the subconscious mind, which gets overloaded, it's like the storehouse of the mind, gets overloaded, bogged down, and that's directing 60% of your actions is the subconscious mind. So it'd be like if you were trying to play the piano, you're consciously thinking of the movements.
Right.
Right. Very mechanical, very, thought out and kind of rough at first. But as you do it consistently, they start to become more fluid. And let's say 40 days, they start to become what people would say second nature.
Sure.
Right. And then eventually, I don't even have to think about it. Right. I could talk about what we're going to have for lunch while playing the piano, because it's become a subconscious sort of pattern of energy.
Right.
Right. And then there can be more of a flow, and there's less sort of stress and less sort of mechanical movements. It's become second nature. So when the mind's clear and you have there's a certain, pattern set, then it becomes much more fluid, much more easier, and then there's less stress. So clearing the subconscious mind is the first order of business, because you blink your eye, you have 1,000 thoughts go into the subconscious space, right? That's a lot. So there's like hundreds of thousands, like basically an immeasurable number of thoughts going in and overloading the subconscious mind every day.
Every waking second of the day.
Every waking second. It's actually not until 17 days after the breath leaves the body that the mind stops working.
Oh, like when you die.
When you die. So that's why every tradition has a kind of a ritual to send the frequency and the person in a better direction.
And you say that meditation helps empty the trash bin?
Yeah.
Are you I don't need a tutorial right now, but like, is it something we fought? Like, how are you dumping? How are you making the dump?
So, meditation in general will add a higher frequency energy into the system, and then all the sort of lower frequency stuff will drop away. So if you're in a dark room, you add light, it just kind of goes away. So it's similar in a way to that. So
you're just kind of saying, like, if you're in the state of meditation, it's just automatic. It's an automatic dump.
Yeah, there's an intelligence to it, and there's so all yogas, right? This is how we started this conversation.
I love it. No, this is great, bro.
All yogas work to raise the Kundalini, which is a dormant energy at the base of everybody's spine. But Kundalini yoga and meditation specifically just do it faster. So the difference is the speed.
Okay.
Right? And because things are speeding up, we just need something that's going to actually work faster and keep in pace with the times. So, the sort of yogas on the corner that may be more physically based, like a core power yoga, is one of these types of places. They just work the physical body, right? And the strengthens, but that's a good thing.
Sure.
But, they're not working the mental component and the spiritual component apart.
Right. Which is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I've tried to meditate, and I feel like I sit there, my mind's racing, my cat's meowing, there's something going on, there's a car driving by, there's a fire truck happening, somebody's yelling outside. I can't get into it, It's like I've tried. Do you ignore all that stuff? Do you ignore? It's funny, but it's like true though. There's so much outside shit happening.
Yeah, totally. That's why they call it a practice.
Okay. Okay.
Jump right
the
in.
idea is I want to affect, not be affected by. So I want to be original and not let the things outside in my environments move me. I want to, famous one is I don't want to be a product of my environments. I want my environments to be a product of me.
Yeah.
So, once you've kind of had some stillness, you're more present than you've ever been, and the centers are sort of open, and you're having an experience just sitting there likened to some extreme experience of you might have in life, like say, people go to an amusement park to get some emotion in the body, where if you really get into it in meditation, you can start experiencing these. You don't get caught in it, but it becomes an experiential situation. You're experiencing it. And in that moment, it becomes enjoyable.
Right.
Because you're, everybody talks about the third eye or the sixth center or once that's open, you now have views into all different types of, things.
Yeah.
And it's getting played like a TV screen. And it's not like you get caught up in it, or that's the point of meditation, but it does become entertaining. And people talk about their past lives. They talk about all this stuff. I don't get too much into that, but it does become, like you said, my environments are noisy. But once you really drop into that, the environments will just kind of calm down, because you're affecting the environments, especially with like animals. You'll notice that there's a lot of noise, and eventually once I am, calm, contained, content, continuous, collected,
the animal follows kind of.
The environment sort of follow, yeah.
Right. I give my cat way too many treats, so it just knows that it could meow until I give in. I enable it.
Wait,
for sure.
So you do the meditating and yoga every day. Do you start off in the morning doing that?
Yeah. Every day starts with it. It's called sadhana.
How long do you meditate for?
So about 30, 40 minutes of that is yoga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
and then
a
I have
long
a
time to
31-minute meditation.
You know what? I admire you, dude, because I think just doing nothing you're not actually doing nothing, right? But you know what I mean? Sitting there in your own thoughts, maybe you're not your own thoughts, you're dumping stuff, is like, that is phenomenal in itself. The world that we live in with social media and like just every stimulant that we have at our fingertips is like, dude, I ask anybody out there listening to this, go sit there for an hour, 45 minutes and do nothing.
But it's like like a breathing techniques that you're doing in this process. You're not just sitting there still, right?
Well, yeah, the Kundalini system, there's thousands of meditations, each with a different energetic result. So whatever you may be working on, you could choose a meditation for that. Okay. There's 5 base ones that like are the main ones.
Okay.
And when I say nothing, I don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? It's just my way to describe how you're probably sitting. You're not doing the dishes and doing this, right? You're sitting there in your own thoughts.
Well, I always have it, the mantras going through my head.
Okay.
Yeah. Affirmations are popular nowadays, so you can kind of liken it to that.
Yeah.
It's you become what you predominantly think about, right? You're going to set the mind in a direction, and it's kind of magnetically pulls in. That's why the subconscious game usually pulls in according to that.
Right.
And it hijacks this pineal gland, which people know about.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting thoughts according to that, throws you all off track, gives you emotions that you don't want, and then you starts to magnetically attract things that you weren't really looking for. Yeah. How many times you try to get into a situation that you didn't want to get into,
right? And
you got kind of pulled into it. And how many times did you want to get into a situation that you couldn't? That's usually the subconscious mind sort of at play.
Right.
The spirit, your soul. Human being was designed to uplink to spirit. But it's the mind and the body and the spirit. It's the Trinity. You need to have kind of both going. In the body, you want to be healthy, and so running and exercises are good. The yoga is great, because you want a strong nervous system to be able to hold the power of the meditations, to be able to hold the power of your spirit. And that's the game. You just want to uplink to that. Like you said, I don't want to think about board stuff. Yeah, because you want just to be present here now, just living, human being, not a human doing. You know? And then and with that beingness that can grow exponentially, and I think that's with the attitude. It'll give you the altitude to kind of perceive things, and then you can do then the like we started talking about skating or physical whatever you're
trying, whatever about skating.
We jumped right into
it.
So then it becomes easier, basically.
With the meditating, have you noticed it help your skating so you don't get upset? As like, I don't know, back in the day you might have gotten frustrated, but do you get frustrated less easily from doing this skating?
Well, you're humans, and you want to enjoy all the human emotions that come up in the experience. That's the point.
There's the answer to the question.
You just don't want to be at the mercy of the emotions, right? You want to enjoy it. And in order to enjoy it, I have to have this sort of second position where I'm not caught in it. And what it will do is it'll give you the ability to move the emotions. Emotion's just energy and motion. You need anger. It's a fire. You're not gonna digest any food without fire element, and if it'll break your shackles,
dude,
it'll break your negativity. Use the anger and the fire to break what holds you back, and that's never gonna. You're always gonna be climbing. You're always gonna be trying to do new things, challenge the system, grow. It's human nature to expand. So you need that element to it. Now, if that's all I'm experiencing, it's just going to burn me up, and it's not enjoyable. Right. So you want to use these. Again, you want to direct the mind, which is going to create emotions. Those emotions are going to charge your system, your aura, your electromagnetic field that surrounds the body. Yeah. Which, if you can't see it, they can take pictures of nowadays. So it's not anything esoteric. Yeah, and that's sort of and then I'll sort of magnetically pull you, and that's the house you have to live in.
Right.
If it drops below 9 feet, you're by definition depressed. So you want to kind of grow that thing and make sure it's big, because that's the house you have to live in before you live in any sort of physical environment. So then, you're not like, oh, if I'm skating good, I feel great. Oh, if I'm skating bad, I feel bad. Because, that's not fun. You're just kind of like this bouncing ball back and forth. Who wants to do that? Right? So it's like, if you watch Penny skating, obviously has like a drug influence and stuff, but I do use him as an example, just being a skate nerd, is that like, it didn't seem like he cared whether he made it, and it didn't seem like he cared whether he didn't make it. Right? He had that neutrality. And what that always led to was him landing everything. But it's hard to get to the neutral standpoint, because you need energy in the system. If you need a systematic application of an energy enhancing technology, which is the Kundalini yoga meditation, then you can go through the gears of the mind, which are negative, positive, and neutral. And it goes in that sequence. You walk into an environment, the negative's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, protect your ass, and then it hands it off to like, we're good. We're in the fucking 9 Club. We're in Roger's old apartment. Sure. And then it's like positive, like, okay, what can we do here? We can talk about skating, nerd out, like, fuck homies. Like, when's the last time, that's what's opportunity. And then then it goes to neutral, which sees both and just acts according to what the soul's sort of direction is in being now, And then if you can skate from that point, skateboarding becomes a completely different experience. Like just a basic trick becomes a way more depth of an experience. And that always, I think, expresses itself. And I think in the common lexicon of skating, we say, I'd rather watch Gino push, right? Because there seemed to be something more coming through than a programmed mental, there was something more to it. That's the combination, let's say, of the Trinity, which is mind, body, and spirit. And if you can connect, you're in the zone. Remember, Jordan is just kind of like this. Well, he hits the 3, and he's just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, because he's in the zone. He's basically super conscious. He's kind of he's connected those things, and it's just coming through. And he's just like, and he's giving an interview actually later, and he's like, I could still be there playing, because it takes less energy. Right. So you could do that for as long as you really want. There's certain prep and recovery that you got to take care of with the body that may go up a little bit, but you do it as long as you really want. I want to end today with more energy than I started yesterday. I want to be happier today than I was yesterday. Right. That's it. That's all you're doing. To keep it simple, I wake up and do things as accurately as possible, and I go to bed. And I want to be happier and profit. And if I come into challenges, that's just an opportunity to express my infinite capacity to grow. So that skate trick that's bugging me, that I have to use my anger, and I'm frustrated, but I'm consciously frustrated, using the fire to just like, let's break the shackles, because I want to go up. Right. I want to climb the mountain here. You need that fire element. And if you're doing it from the neutral standpoint, it can be enjoyable. And then when you go through, right? Pressure makes a diamond. I went through it. I now have something I didn't have before. And I learned the lesson, and I'm in a whole new reality stream. So a lot of the times with these meditations in the Kundalini system, they can be challenging. Like arms up in the air for 15 minutes, 11 minutes. You want
to be challenged, though.
But that attitude is priceless. Yeah. And if I go into the challenges conscious with an open heart, usually the challenges just drop away. Then you're in the rare space I'm looking for challenges, because the sailboat doesn't sail without the resistance of the wind. I need the challenge to grow. So see how the attitude and the paradigms
but you're like looking for something that's not there. Like you're trying to like formulate something, right?
Well, then it gets into a subconscious trip where I'm calling in problems, which I think, which then you're not really doing it, right? You're just kind of calling in a problem to think you're doing something. It's like when people, I love my haters is like a DGK thing, right? Because if I do something positive, I'm going to get the polarity response, right? But if I just go out there trying to get haters, you're not doing the positive thing to get the hater. Yeah. So you want, so there's, let's say
haters are a byproduct. Funny, everything you've said here, like fully, whether you meant it or not, like relates to skateboarding.
Because it gives you so much energy. Right. And then I'm just using the energy, the skating, some ways to assimilate the energy that I get from the yoga, the meditation, the mantra, and the breath work. Yeah. Those are the 4 wheels. And in 3 minutes a day is seriously beneficial. Because Because again, all yogas work to raise that dormant energy at the base of the spine called Kundalini.
Right.
Sounds like a new agey word, I realize.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that medical symbol? It's called the Kadusha symbol. It's a pole with the snakes going up it.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen that. It's like hidden in plain sight.
It's in my elevator, dude.
Yeah. So the rod of Asclepius, where it's the pole with one singular snake, but those are similar. Whereas the pole represents the spinal cord, and the snakes represent Kundalini. Kundalini just means coiled serpent.
Oh.
So it's rising up the spine, and then it goes out this pineal, and then the wings represent the ascension of consciousness. So it's funny, it's hidden in plain sight, and we use it for our health and wellness, which
That's
just
where you
is
usually see it.
consciousness. Yeah, and then there's the chakra system, which is where the energy is collected, stored, and projected from. So then we're a sophisticated situation. We just haven't been taught it. And that gets into a whole other topic of why we haven't been taught, why it's been hidden, why is it coming out now? You know, because we're at the change of times now. Change of
is
age.
everything.
So in 2012, remember they were saying, "Oh, the world's gonna end." You know, remember that shit?
Oh,
Because the Mayan calendar ended.
Right.
Oh,
But that was a consciousness shift. So we ended one age, and now we're in like another age. But we're only 14 years in. You know, that's gonna go on for a 5,000-year golden age, where this stuff will be more common. So, but we're just sort of the pioneers of it all, and I mean, if that's.
Dude,
that helps at all. You know, yoga means union, right?
Okay.
Yoke.
Yoke.
I'm linking finite body to infinite, and then once you can do that, what else do you need? You're free. You're sovereign. You're independent, and then you become magnetic, and then that magnet attracts whatever it is that you want to do, whatever and nobody wants the same thing. That's what's beautiful about the sort of mandala of humanity.
Right.
So we're all kind of adding to it in this great way, you know, which is dope. Compete and compare and be confused. And skateboarding is definitely in this compete and compare mindset, and that needs to kind of chill a little bit, right? Like playing games of skate. There's like a weird yo,
you've won a bunch of
you're
those.
missing,
Man.
you're missing the fucking point.
You've got some trophies.
Yeah,
at
but it's
home,
all about
man.
having fun in that sense. It's not, you know, you can't take yourself too serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all here to have fun with this.
You're just like part of a culture, right? It's not like, oh, I need to beat it. I want to climb a mountain. In order to get there, I got to beat everybody. And to get there, no. It's like, no, I'm climbing the mountain. I got to bring people with me. Right? We're climbing the mountain together.
Yes.
There we go.
So you land your trick. That inspires me. I get stoked.
Yeah.
Not a lot of other, I don't know, what do you want to say? Culture, sports, whatever you want to say, arts, you know, whatever. But have that attitude.
Right.
And that's inspiring. And inspiring just means in spirit. I've put you more into your originality by being more in my originality. That's why your success is universally beneficial, whether it's in skating or life, creative endeavors, entrepreneurial podcasts. It doesn't matter. Just create and do rad shit. It has a magnetic effect on everyone. We're all connected, right? And so I say that a lot to people because they think like, oh, if I have success, I'm being selfish and it's just about me. It's like, no, that's if you don't have it, you can't give it. So you should go for it and create and add and give and earn and then give back from that place. That's amazing, you know. Now I'm just going because we just started.
It's amazing because it's really like I'm discovering who you are and how you think about things, you know. And I think that's super interesting because like for the longest time I've thought about like skateboarding as such an individual thing, which it is, but at the same time we're all connected and we're all feeding off of each other, you know, to move forward and progress and like to like conquer this thing that it's
an internal
love,
game.
Yeah,
you're playing an internal game
for sure,
right? Because if you have that challenge, which I have to use the fire element, the anger,
there you go,
in a healthy way, consciously, not get caught in it.
Yeah.
I've had experiences in both sides of that. to battle the trick. Right. And then I go through it. Now I have something I didn't have before. And you can take that as a sort of metaphor outside in other areas of life. Right. But now because I have that thing, I've added energy. And I'm inspiring other people to do the same.
You've inspired a lot of people, dude. You've inspired a lot of people.
It's to you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Same,
well, thanks, dude.
Same. I hope I'm getting better every day. And I hope that continues until I leave my body, you know. So that's my attitude.
Right.
And I have that attitude with everything, you know.
You haven't lost a
And
step, bro.
so-
Not to cut you
oh,
off, you have
appreciate
not lost a step. But now I understand it a lot more by the way you expressed what you do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, that's a lot, you know what I mean, for anybody to do something consecutive day to day to day to day, but you obviously have a love for that, just like you have a love for skateboarding. So it makes it easy, and it's not a task in that sense. It's a part of your day.
Yeah. Yeah, at first it kind of becomes like I gotta
like
force it, and then it becomes easier. So, and then because it takes 40 days at least, or the start of it, for the neurons to start to form a pattern.
Right.
That's why I use that piano thing.
Yeah.
But then you go to these sort of yogi demarcation points of 40, 90, 120 days. And then once you hit 1,000 days of a meditation, it could be 3 minutes, could be 5, 11, 31, 62, 2.5 hours. If you do it for 1,000 days, it becomes a part of you. It's just a part of you, that energy.
Right. Yeah.
And it's imprinted on what they call the subtle body, which carries your soul lifetime to lifetime. I know that sounds out there, but
Makes sense.
No, I
because, you know, some people are just born and they're like, oh, they just have it.
Mm.
Well, they've done the work. They've crystallized their consciousness in some ways, right?
Right.
There's a story of a friend of mine. He went to his friend's house who had a kid. Yeah. Friend of a friend had a child, went to their house. And the kid's like, I don't know, he's got to be like 3 or 4, you know? And he's just, maybe 5. And he's just got like these vacuum cleaners and they're just all taken apart. And he's just like fiddling with them and just like, and my homie's just like, what the fuck's up with the vacuum cleaners?
Yeah.
And he's like, the dad of the kid's like, yeah, I don't know. I just buy him a vacuum cleaner, he takes it apart. I buy him a vacuum cleaner, he takes it apart. You know? So I'm just like, first of all, it's a good dad, right? Because you know there's some like reincarnated engineer of some, or he's just, the kid's just trying to figure out
He's
something
nurturing
something
the
about him.
exploration of whatever the kid. Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, like yeah, it's interesting, man. And I love what you said about going back to like Gino and like, why do we say like, oh, just I want to see Gino push? Is because there's something there. There's something.
Yeah, that intangible.
Right.
That's the sort of gold to it. You know, there's the energy to it. You know, that's the sort of spiritual component, really. So that's why we were talking about, oh, I don't want to think about it when it comes to skating. There's some truth to that. Yeah, because you know the point isn't to think about it.
Yeah. Because we all, cause we all can get in our own head.
Exactly.
It's like I can get on my board and start judging myself within the first couple minutes of, am I having a good session? Am I having a bet? Can I ollie? Is my board feeling good? Like all of these thoughts are now on my shoulders because I'm like thinking about, I'm judging myself off of the start of my day almost.
Yeah. The chatter, the monkey mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
got to
fine.
like get rid of that.
And it doesn't stop.
I need to throw it in the trash.
You need to, well, first to direct it. And but also you have a high frequency, you have a high geared mind to be able to do the level of skateboarding you've done. I mean, that's one expression of it. So it's like it takes a strong arm to wield a heavy sword. So if you have a high frequency mind, you need a application of something that's going to direct it strong.
Well, it's interesting because here's the thing: is like I'm looking at Chris Joslin, right? We just had him on the show. He just 360 flipped Del Toro. He did it 8 years later than he did. He waited 8 years to do it again, or do it from the first time. And I think that's remarkable, dude. I think for a person to, go from one point and then just as he gets older, he's progressing, right? I think a lot of us maybe like either stay on a static line or maybe degress a little bit. Like I think it's really hard depending on the age or whatever to progress, right? And I'm like, so I think people do it in different ways. Maybe he's fitness and feeling good, and he's actually had to delete a lot of stuff from the last couple of years that he's gone through. But like, I don't know if he's meditating. He didn't really talk about it, but maybe subconsciously he's deleting files and stuff like that. And it's just interesting to me to see like a person like you that's like, just constantly just fucking good at skateboarding, and then a Chris Joslin who's like 360 flipping the 20 stairs 8 years late. Like, I think that's phenomenal. Like, you don't see that happen too often.
No.
That's raw.
Right. So I'm like, how is he? I don't know. He's just in this mental state now, and also a peak physical condition too.
He's young, dude. He's
That's
still
it.
young.
He's young, but
part.
still 8 years later, I think it's fucking phenomenal, bro. You don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, going back to pointing the mind in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
If you do point it in the right direction, it's going to give you some emotions. And you can make those emotions bigger. You can kind of charge yourself up and to create the emotion. I mean, you start thinking about a hot day long enough, you're going to start to feel hot.
Yeah.
And you start thinking about a cold day long enough, you're going to start to feel cold. So if I really get into that, I can grow that exponentially and infinitely. So the emotions is a superpower, really. But you got to direct that too. So if I do and use my emotions and not be used by them, I can now have energy, a lot more energy and emotion than maybe someone else that maybe has to like work. So, you know, Chris is just such a highly charged person.
Right.
And it's
Right.
cool to see. That's that 10 energy because he's, you know, he's a, anyways, I'm not going to get into the numerology. Just Jocelyn on the fucking 9 Club. It's the first thing I asked him when I met him, like, you know, what's your birthday? But
Yeah. Oh, really?
highly charged,
Yeah.
and he's directing it in a let's say productive direction. There's these types about like David Goggins. He's this like internet guy, you know, and he's just really extreme with his situation, right?
Right.
He'll run 280 mile or 100 mile marathons in the desert, in the middle and the height of summer.
Jeez.
Right.
Well, he's nervous.
And he's just doing it manually. He's just doing all these gnarly physical things to get some of that pattern. And he says it a number of times, like, yeah, maybe it could be done in meditation, but this is the way I'm doing it.
Right. Right.
So it's easier than that, I guess is my point. But it can be totally done like that, and it is inspiring.
Yeah.
But there is a,
An easier way to go about it in that sense.
yeah, you could say that.
Right.
Not to take
No,
away
there's
or
different ways to go
devalue
about
it,
it. Yeah.
right? Not to devalue it by
Yeah.
any means. You know, strengthening the body.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because you have to live in the body. If it's strong, it's healthy, and the nervous systems are strong. You're gonna enjoy your experience as a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good thing. If I go to the gym, I'm only working the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just strengthening the physical body. But again, we're mind, we're body, and we're spirit, right? So there's yoga, there's meditation, and then there's sound mantras, and then there's breath work. Breath
Yeah.
work is popular now, pranayams. So if I do the yoga, which yoga just means union, right? I was saying that earlier.
Mhm.
Then I'm linking with something infinite. It's beyond time and space. I'm not stuck in a matrix trying to muscle my way out of the matrix. So I have to do such an extreme event to just get some positive feelings in the body. You get these adrenaline junkies that bungee jump off the building and then scrape the ground by. It's like next level, and you're like, fuck. But why are you doing it, bro?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Right.
easy.
They get some sort of feel out of
Yeah.
that. There's
Oh, hell
fun.
So what I'm saying is like might be a better way. Now if I can generate that feeling, if I can generate that feeling,
Yeah.
and I'm not at the mercy of this emotional battle within myself, right? Now I enter into whatever it is that I want to do, whatever may hope it's. Everybody has gifts.
Yeah.
Everybody has unique gifts that they can express. And if I enter into that, like not seeking something from it, and I just come neutrally, originally to add and to experience and to learn and grow, like it's just gonna be a different experience.
Right.
And then I guess in this case, what that looks like to the observer would be different. Rather than I'm kind of using the thing to get something. So we started the conversation. I'm skating good. I'm having a good day. I feel good.
Right.
Skating bad. I feel bad. There's no way to live. You know, if you get neutral about it, doesn't mean you don't have bad days,
Sure.
right? But I'm approaching it like we were saying as a challenge. That is just an opportunity for me to grow. It's a duality planet. There's positive, negative, up, down, left, right, sun, moon, right? You have to get used to that. There is an antagonist. So, and if you can experience those from the neutral standpoint, then you can enjoy them. And then what comes as a good thing. Then what comes as a challenge is just you're at least have the attitude that I'm gonna enjoy this challenge, and that usually makes it 1,000 times easier.
Right.
If not, just drops the whole challenge away immediately, and then you can learn faster. You're clearer, and you don't get caught in this game of like ping pong with like the emotional body, because there's a whole section of the population on the planet that thinks if I get caught in some emotional space, I'm helpless to change it, and it's just not true. You can, because the emotions are preceded by a thought form. There needs to be a mental position to it, and that's movable. And when I can move it, I can create the emotions in the body I want to feel. And then I become sovereign, independent, happy, contained, and there's nothing on the outside can move me. And that's why this stuff, what we were saying earlier, why haven't we been taught this stuff? Then you can go down that path, which might be another podcast. But
I'm here for it.
There's a reason.
I'm here for it.
That's why, and some people say, oh, well, that's dangerous. Well, who's telling me that? Yeah, the people that don't want you to practice and be independent, sovereign, and are profiting off of you, basically being a slave.
Right.
So meditation, which used to be, kind of new, now it's just, people are realizing, no, it's just what you need to do to release, empty the trash bin, so to speak, release the pressure. And once that is, that I'm clear. And when I'm clear, I can start skating clear. I can start doing art clear. Usually artists are really, whatever comes through in their art, whatever it is comes through you, whatever it is that you are doing and want to do, and the experience will be heightened.
But could that be the meditation in itself, the artist painting or us skating? Couldn't that be us doing the meditation in our own way and deleting files?
It's a good question. Yeah, they can complement and supplement each other, right? So it's why the household, they call it a householder's path, where it used to be like the idea of the yogis up in the mountain, the ascetic life. I'm just renunciating the world. Well, actually, you make a lot more progress being down here.
Right.
In the world, of the world, like not in the world, not of the world, but you're in the world, doing everyday stuff. You have families and lives and things you do. You've just added energy to it. Whatever it is that you're seeing is, just live it up. Have fun. Enjoy your life. Just if you add energy to it in any capacity, you're going to enjoy it more. The Kundalini yoga meditation is an authentic spiritual path. So it has a lineage of like, this person did this person did that, and they've added to it. Okay. So when you practice, you're now gaining the benefit of the goal, what they call the goal of all the practitioners before you've tuned into it. So it's beyond time and space. And so you operate in time and space with the ability to not be caught in time and space. It's very powerful.
Were you like this during PJ's wonderful, horrible life? No, but have you always had some type of like feeling, or because when we're younger, we're not really, some people are maybe in tune with that, but I don't think a majority of the population or young kids are like really thinking the way that you think or practicing those techniques and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Do you think you had that stuff when you were filming for videos like that back then?
I definitely was born with, a connection to it.
Sure.
And it took me 20 years to reconnect. Whereas like sometimes you get kids just born right into their parents, like conscious. We all know how it could have been, right? Shit. Yeah. But, whatever. But it was for a reason. It taught me something. So now I can talk about and help and teach, I guess, and from that place. But I liked skating for a lot of those reasons that we're talking about. I just kind of learning about myself. There's some people that learn intellectually. I think that's like 6% of the population, And it's a very left brain, curriculum driven sort of public education, Rockefeller public education system, that wants to turn you into a worker.
Sure.
Not necessarily teach you anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parallelograms, not to do your tax return, you weren't taught stuff, so you had to work it out. But I had a few moments in my life where I look back on, and there was a full sort of like grokking sort of body like moment of like, whoa, this is resonating at this time.
It was
but did you even think, like, do you think now, like, if you didn't start skating, like, would you even have tapped into all this maybe at a certain point? Or maybe skating was the catalyst?
It's a good question. It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Yeah, to look at it like that,
I don't know if you could answer it.
I was always a reader.
Oh.
Yeah, I always read.
Really?
I always read a lot. Even as a kid. Like, I would be in just dead of winter, skating in my dad's garage, next to my dad's garage, just like I would have a book I would, read and shit. I was always a reader.
Really?
It was interesting.
Like instead of
yeah.
watching a skate video, you would just read a book.
Yeah, which if you saw the area I grew up in, you'd be like, that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Was that instilled in through your parents or your mom or dad? No, it's just natural.
Not
Just wanted
raw.
to skate. You just
Amazing.
wanted to.
Yeah.
What would you-
My parents left me alone.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, they were just like,
do your thing.
do your thing. Yeah.
So what? You would skate and then finish skating and then read, or before you would skate, or
skate for an hour or two, just like chill for a minute.
huh?
Yeah. It's funny, right?
Well, especially nowadays where reading is not really.
I wish I was a reader more as a young kid. I'm living through my son right now. He's such a great reader. He's read like probably over 1,000 books.
What?
I bug out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nice,
So
dude.
from that standpoint, like I get jealous.
I didn't even know. I didn't know there were that many books.
Hey, you can
man.
start now,
Yeah.
Dubs. You
Yeah,
start-
I know. You can always start. I should have started already. But
Yeah, man. So when you were like growing up, you said you were like you skated outside your dad's shop or something. Is that what you just said? Or
Yeah,
at
my
your-
dad
in the
owned an
garage?
auto parts store.
Okay.
Yep.
And then how did you even like? What attracted you to skating? Like what? Who? How did it get introduced to you?
I've asked my mother this a few times, and
Oh,
I
you
haven't
don't
really
remember?
gotten it because I don't remember.
Really?
Interesting, right? She says that I found something at like a yard sale, like an old remember they would have like scooters
Mhm.
like on
Oh,
the
yeah.
skateboard with the handles,
Back to the Future style, right?
something like.
Well, maybe not that old. You know, with the wood box on it. and stuff.
No, but you know what I mean.
remember
Like,
it was
I
blue.
used to have one of those. I know what you're talking about.
And then she got me a board because
You're
I wouldn't
glued
leave
to
that
it.
thing alone. Yeah,
Isn't that weird? That's so
Funny.
crazy, dude.
yeah. You grew up probably around skating your whole life, yeah?
My next door neighbor skated, and they were skating in my neighborhood. It was kind of like I wouldn't say famous, but it was kind of a rather popular spot for people to kind of skate and downhill and stuff like that. And then, so I always kind of had a skateboard because my neighbor gave me a skateboard. But I don't know. I feel like when people ask me when I started skating, I always say 15. Why? Because I think at 15, that's when I started to try tricks, and I realized that you could use this thing and you could get a different board to skate, right? It wasn't just knee boarding or butt boarding down the street. So I always had a board, but my definition is when you start to try to do tricks. That's kind of when you started skating.
Mm. Interesting.
That's just me. I don't know. I wouldn't say like, oh, I've skated my whole life. Like,
yeah.
that's not really true. You know, it is true, but it's not.
It's a big surf culture.
Sure.
In the Santa Monica.
Malibu, yeah, Santa Monica, yeah.
How old were you when you started, PJ?
5.
So wait a minute. Are you going off
6.
of how I feel when you start doing tricks, or
I didn't do tricks for a while.
okay,
Yeah, until I was 10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned to kickflips, and then I would just.
But you
kinda
said
went-
5.
You got
What makes
introduced
you
to
say
it.
5?
I had a board. I would ride around.
Okay.
We build quarter pipes and do kick turns.
Oh, see, that's the thing. That's a trick, though. You're doing no. You do a quick turn on a quarter pipe. That's a
Yeah.
trick. Like that's not a knee boarding or butt boarding, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a friend move in a few years after I started skating.
Okay.
He was my neighbor. He was a couple years older. His name was Adam Davenport, and he skated. So he would build shit, and we would skate in the driveways and the
Sick.
streets, the street our friend, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So those, but I wasn't doing tricks. This is interesting.
When did you start getting into tricks? At 10 years old, you're saying?
Yeah.
And how did you did your neighbor kind of show you that stuff, or did you see videos at this point, or what was going on?
It was a few years later, but I got Plan B Questionable. That was my first video.
Damn.
That's a good first video, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was like my second video or third blind video days, and it was like questionable,
Mhm.
and the speed of the progression was just insane. From
Yeah.
like year to year, it was
Yeah.
like, what the hell? I don't even know what I'm watching anymore. You know what I mean?
What were your thoughts on that video?
Well, it was just, that was normal.
yeah.
That was introduction
Right,
to it, yeah.
right. Makes sense.
Mike Carroll's your favorite skateboarder? Is this true? Why?
Skates everything.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Skated everything. And just the EMB, the Embarcadero, that
Mhm.
was, that's kind of like the format I have in like sort of the Love Park, you know,
Yeah.
Pulaski Park, you know, Brooklyn Banks, Embarcadero. No, Brooklyn Banks a little less, but Plaza, you know.
Yeah.
The reason why, I mean, Mike Carroll's one of my favorite skaters too, and I
Yeah.
think it's like, you know, his style, the way that he did the tricks, but I think also Plan B, like questionable, like in virtual reality for that matter, is like, it's also the music that went along with the part that made that part just more phenomenal than it already was, you know?
For sure.
Like that's what, like, if I hear those songs that Mike Carroll skated to in that, I'm like, dude, I get like goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's crazy whether that a song is attached to that person. Like, I feel like it's few and far between these days, you know, that happens. Right.
Oh, that you get stuck with like like you're known for a song. Yeah,
for sure.
That's a cool. If it's a good song, that's a cool thing. Yeah.
But growing up, that was all. It was all good music that was attached to it. Now, granted, it was all like, you know, they were punking it. You know, they weren't doing
Music is powerful.
Yeah. Right.
And music combined with skating and skate videos is super powerful.
Even though you had no
Yeah.
music in one of your parts, but what
Yeah.
why didn't whose choice was that? This isn't Really Sorry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Silence is Golden.
I didn't think I had enough footage for a part, and I was almost not going to have a part.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so me and Scuba Steve, we just filmed a lot of stuff in like a couple weeks. Few weeks.
No, you didn't, dude.
Because I was just like fourth quarter it. I'm like, because I wasn't going to have a part.
Wow.
And that's a whole backstory too. So,
Putting up 60 points in the fourth.
and then,
Wow.
and then I was like, yeah, just don't put, since it's not like a real part, at least that was my thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a Mike Carroll board.
I love that.
Oh wow. Oh, because you were
Yeah.
saying that you would sticker up like girl boards and just put flip stickers on it or something.
I mean, I've been doing it for a while, like since Element days. Just spray paint. I was down for the companies. I just, liked a certain board.
So wait, you
So-
would go buy these boards?
Just trade.
Trade?
Or,
Okay, dope.
So wait, what happened with the silences? You were going on the story.
yeah. So I just didn't think it's weird to watch.
It's amazing to watch.
Funny.
It's not weird. So it was your idea.
Yeah, it was my idea. I didn't think I had enough footage for a part, so I just was like, yeah, put it with no music. There was some inspiration from Eastern Exposure Zero, which is that Dan Wolf compilation, because he did a lot of that Eastern Exposure video in black and white, and then he came out with a video that was like a mix of everything that he had filmed, maybe his whole life to that point, in color, but didn't put music to it. It was a really quick sort of montage-y type video that somehow I had that I watched a lot,
Gotcha.
The Eastern Exposure videos, the Dan Wolf stuff, Underachievers, those videos had a big impact
So good.
on a lot of dudes in the East Coast. So that was a sort of aside to that, was like, oh, just make it like Eastern Exposure Zero. But also Tim Dowling had that video called Listen,
This is true.
which, yeah, you had some shit in there for
I had
sure.
some good stuff.
I watched
Hell
a lot
yeah.
of that video.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and the DVSs, that was a sick video. It was Tim Dowling. Was he from Santa
He's
Monica?
Yeah, Santa Monica dude. Yeah,
So-
and he was already filming with the Girl and Chocolate dudes, and he's the reason why I got kind of introduced to everybody like that. I think growing up in Malibu, I had a bunch of friends that skated, and then they all kind of partied and kind of got into other things, and I had to kind of go find another skate posse,
Yeah.
So he kind of was the catalyst to like introduce me to everybody.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I really love that.
So
One thing about the footage though with no music, it has this sort of sound to it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting someone mentioned that to me, and I was like, oh, I kind of agree.
It does.
Yeah.
And then like,
Mhm.
it's funny to think about. Everybody has their own sort of like, when they skate, the sound they make when they're skating. It's
Right.
like,
Well, there's
Yeah,
especially
so-
the way. I mean, just gonna say the way you land tricks is really solid, so it sounds nice. But I was gonna say, like, what was up with the benches? Was that fourth quarter right there?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scuba had the benches. Shout out to Scuba. He had a homie. I can't remember his name now, but he had the truck. We put him in the truck. We put him in the truck and just filmed it like that. Because Steve was, we were lighting stuff up at night, and he had generators and lights. the whole setup, and then we just lit up the benches just to kind of get it done.
Why didn't you have footage going into it?
So after the last Colosseum video came out, the guy who filmed that video didn't want to film for Flip.
Oh, okay.
Which was like, hey, I got you a job filming for Flip and S.
And he didn't want it.
No.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
So it kind of killed the momentum a little bit. And there were trips happening. Like I was traveling at this point.
Okay.
So.
Because you right after Wonderful Horrible Life, that's when everything like popped off for you. You know, I mean, you were getting flowed by Element, right? In the very beginning. And
I was on Element. Yeah.
You were going to have a part in Element. Is this all true? You're going to have a part in Element, but then all the footage went to Colosseum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
How? Why? What was the deal right there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a young kid at the time, and Element was actually paying me really well as an AM.
Really?
I think it was like $1,500 a month, which is like $3,000 now. As you're 15, you're like, holy, you know,
a lot of Burger King, man.
So a lot of train tokens, you know. I was down for Element too. Like, Johnny and the squad they had was very East Coast. Donnie, Donnie hooked me up with
Donnie
Element.
Barley.
Yeah, he was living here. I'm sure you skated with him.
Oh yeah,
at that
all
time.
the time.
Eric
Eric Dressen, Donnie Barley, weird odd couple. Yeah,
amazing though. Would you skate? Courthouse.
Courthouse, ponds, beach. Like yeah. We'd cruise out, do some missions. Yeah,
yep.
Really fun.
Sick.
Great dudes.
Yeah. So he was out here, and then he moved back to the East Coast. And when he moved back, I don't know. He just kind of sought me out. And we started skating. I was tripping, because Donnie was a big pro at that time.
Yeah, man.
It's Donnie, Donnie, Uncle Don. So
Okay.
So yeah, I just started skating with Donnie Barley all the time as a young kid, and it was pretty sick.
Wow.
So he got me on Element, and that went on for a while. Yeah. So.
And you were getting paid.
Kenny Hughes
shout out to Kenny Hughes, man.
Yeah, a lot of Reese.
Reese Forbes.
Tim O'Connor.
I think Tim had just gone to.
Oh, Habitat.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was on for a sec. There was still like a connection.
Yeah.
And then so you filmed a bunch of stuff, and so what happened with the video?
Yeah, so I think Element was going through a lot of changes. I actually got on Element the same time as Bam. Like Bam's first ad was when my name was like on an ad for the first time. I was like, well, now it's official.
Amazing.
It's funny. It's just kid shit, that you're just like, oh shit.
Famous dude.
So that was, but he was at that time just had, Toy Machine, Ripper, FDR.
Sure.
He hadn't really gone
okay.
full Bam. Full Bam, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then Element was selling to Billabong. So they were going through changes, and that way Johnny was, seeking a partnership to grow his business exponentially, which was, it's just fine. So there were changes, and I didn't process it so much as a kid. I just knew that Donnie and Kenny, they were like kind of, there was like, they were a little bit, frustrated at things, and there was just a vibe kind of was. But everybody was still on the team, and it still was like, it was still cool.
Okay.
But I just wanted to skate for something since that was Bam direction was starting, that skating for something a little bit more like. I'm trying to get into the headspace of where I was at as a kid.
Well, I'm just trying to think too, because like as a kid, right? You said what, 15, something like that.
Yeah, it's 15 to 2 or 3 years. Okay. Yeah.
So like, I'm almost thinking there's got to be some outside influence there. Maybe a little bit of Donnie Barley and Kenny Hughes, like you were saying, but like you had all this footage that was going to be in the Element video. Did Donnie Barley and Kenny Hughes stay on Element, or did you just be like, I'm out of here? Or did somebody else from Colosseum say, hey, take all your footage, let's put it in Colosseum, you're gonna have the best part, we're gonna call it PJ Lads Wonderful, million sold. I don't know.
Yeah, so it was like an AM squad, like Tosh and Colt, and they wanted to make an AM video.
Okay.
So that was the initial sort of motivation, because we had been making shop videos. like for forever, you know.
Yeah.
One of the dudes got a VX, and that was like a big deal, you know. So we were filming with him with like proper stuff, and then stuff would be in 4:1, and
Yeah.
we would make like legit shop videos, and we would have like premieres, and they were like these events, and it was pretty fun actually,
Sick.
because it was just what we were doing anyways, kids skating around the city. And so yeah, it's fun times, man.
How did that name? How did they come across that name?
So let me finish the point. So
Oh yeah.
so that was the original catalyst, because Elmo was going to make an AM video.
Mm.
So I was like fucking going hard for this, you know?
Okay.
So then I started with that. But as we kind of got into it, things at Element were kind of changing. And then, you know, the Colosseum guys, you know, we were talking about potentially starting like a board brand, you know? And then they were really into Flip, and you know, Flip was sick at the time, international. Obviously, Boston's like kind of has that European flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So ended up going to ride for Flip with the idea that, you know, Jeremy would ride for Girl and Ryan would ride for this company and turn pro, because we didn't want to turn ourselves pro, I think was the final thought there. And then we were kind of come back and do it.
Okay.
That was kind of what I talked to Matt about, the owner of the skate shop at the time.
Okay.
And we're young too, so keep this in mind. And so that was the thought there,
Okay.
you know, because we wanted to do a board brand.
Called Colosseum. You don't know. You don't even know the board. That was just
Yeah.
the talk.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. So that was funny.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
would've
but
been really-
Element was it was definitely going into the BAM direction, because they
Yes.
needed something to grow their business, and that's fine.
Which it
And
exploded.
then,
bro.
I've talked to Johnny later on too, and he was like, you know, you had to do that.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, respect. And but I was always like super down for Element, and
Yeah.
Ryan Kingman, you know, did a lot.
Mhm.
Shout out to Kingman. He did
Mhm.
a lot to help me out as a kid. The team was sick. Jake Rupp also.
Jake Rowe.
Yeah, a lot of homies. So it was just a good. It was cool, man.
Yeah.
There was a moment that definitely was like super rad. It was clean, but still like, and obviously going from Underworld Element and its roots with Andy Howell.
Right.
It's super dope. East Coast, you know, total hip hop, up to, you know, cleaned up to Element to kind of, it was like in that trajectory
Yeah.
to kind of blow up, you know, sell to Billabong and kind of blown out, or let's say
For sure. For sure.
expand.
Yeah.
And they rode BAM deal to I want to say 500 mil at one point.
I mean, they were they opened a BAM shop pretty much in Times Square.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to do something more
Yeah.
sort of skate.
I feel like
and
Flip-
then, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I feel like it was like the perfect fit. Like you kind of went in there and that video came out and it was just kind of like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if you felt like it was perfect or if you even skated with any of those guys.
The guys at the shop, definitely that was their favorite thing. And I was supportive of them being supportive of me,
Okay.
and like just going in that direction to eventually try and create something off of it all that would be our own.
Interesting.
So it was a weird, like, sort of thought out but slightly naive at the time.
Okay.
Did you get offers
So-
from a lot of people at that point?
Yeah.
Like
mean, imagine.
Like can you say what companies?
I rode Girl Boards.
Mm.
Girl Boards most of my childhood.
Okay.
And that was my kind of my shit. And Gallant too.
What happened?
Yeah. So, and then I got on S. And I got on S because Donnie hooked me up with the America. I would rock his shoe.
Mm.
But then it was like, well, he's more of a, it seems S was more of a vibe, not America. So,
Sure.
yeah, I rode for S. And then Tony at S was like, you should ride for Girl. That's more of your fit. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
And I remember going to the Girl Park, skating there quite a few times just in that time period. But then like everybody came, like, you know, Eric and Rick and Mike and the squad. I was just like, this is sick, you know? So that was definitely one of those days of like, yeah, you know, they mentioned like, yeah, you know, Element makes our boards, so we need to be like cool about it, but you're, you know, welcome. Come over here.
Like they're not
going
to
to huge
deal you, but
Yeah.
if you quit, then they're
because everybody was getting the hint, like,
yeah.
you know.
And what happened?
So I mean, yeah, I just again, if I'm thinking about it, if I'm like, you know, recapitulating what went down in my teenager head, is that we were going to start a company, but it would just made more sense. And also Jeremy rode for Girl, and he kind of had that. And then I was going to ride for Flip, Gallant was going to ride, and then we're going to come back and like do a board. That was kind of like the thinking. And then they were really down for Flip, and I was just down for what they were down for. Not that I didn't like them, and I liked the international flavor and all that. It just, so that was the direction I chose, which was maybe perfect, but maybe strange.
Right.
You could kind of look at it both ways.
But you also
It definitely threw, when Dave didn't want to film anymore, like he was just like, no, I'm just going to do my Boston Townie thing.
Okay.
That threw a huge wrench in the gears for sure. Where it's like, and then that's a whole other thing. But then I did see Mike and Sam skating the court, standing LA High one time, and they left like a napkin contract, like, we will stoke you out. And, like, on my car.
No
like,
way.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that when it comes full circle like that. I mean, dude, I don't know how that didn't work out, but like you said, it probably would have been a little strange with you and Jeremy, but nah, I don't think it would have. You know what I'm saying? But I think it would have been pretty funny. Like, I love how, you know, the teenage mind works in the sense of, like, you guys saying, oh, we're going to go skate here and there. That would have been the hardest thing to do, to probably leave those situations to come back full circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably which it didn't happen in that sense. But, fuck, man, I wish you would have got it, girl.
I know.
I appreciate that.
Dude.
Yeah.
But also at the time period, sorry, Kelly, real quick. At the time, yeah, it's after they think about the time period, though, Flip was huge.
True.
Huge.
Mhm.
I mean, they were killing it at that point too. So
Yeah.
making, you know, looking back and being like, oh, was it the right decision? I mean, it was a decision that was like pertinent to the time and the era. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I sold less than like 3,000 boards the whole time I was there.
Wow.
So they were doing really well.
That's when they were on top of the game. And yeah. Well, also,
But I also didn't like their board, so it was the whole thing. Like I like the brand.
Yeah.
They were getting their boards from Prime, I believe.
Okay.
Or the end of Prime. Then they were going to Madrid Brothers had a Clearwood for a second. I was like, oh, dude, still trying to get, because I like those flatter boards, but then they just became, the nose and tail became, I just got strong, but I did like the flat middle. So anyways, there's a whole
Gotcha.
board thing
Board
too.
debacle.
So I would also, when I was skating for Element, I would spray paint Girl and Chocolate boards and put Element stickers on them. I was down for Element. I just liked
You
the.
had to ride what you wanted to ride.
I liked those flat boards. Those chocolate boards made by Taylor were really cool
Those are
because they were like
for
flat
sure.
and steeper nose and tail, same angle nose and tail. Which, if you go back and look at those parameter numbers, were no one was making boards like that. That was a furniture factory, right?
I believe so.
Down
wow.
here, right?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
oh yeah, Girl and
Yeah.
Chocolate they were different boards.
boards.
Yeah, Taylor Dykema, and then PS was making the
Girl boards.
girl boards, but he had
Right.
he had to make them really thick because they were the flatter middle concave, so they were a little
Okay.
bit heavy, but rad shapes because Paul was really good at the 2D look down template. To answer your question, Kelly, Matt was in film. The guy that owned the skate shop, he was in film school, and so he was like into like making documentaries and editing, and just they were studying that type of stuff, and they were studying some documentary with that name. So he was like, "Would you want your name to be in the title?" They called me. Like, I don't care. Whatever. I didn't think anything of it.
Right.
Because it's a skate shop and we're kids, you know. It's just just having fun.
Another
But
skate shop
That's
video.
where the name. That's where the name came.
Did you have any idea it was going to get the response that it did?
My goal with that part was like I just wanted it to be as good as Pro's parts.
Oh,
That was my thought.
so you weren't.
It was.
So you weren't just you weren't just going out and filming with the boys. You had like a
Had fire in his ass.
man. Not like an agenda, but you were like you had a direction.
Yeah,
That's what it
I
sounds
was
like,
committed
right?
to a
Like you had-
direction. I was
yeah.
definitely committed. I definitely burned the boats and like this is it.
Wow. At this time, you were getting paid by Element.
Mm-hmm.
So you already had a taste of the industry, and you already had.
I had gone on
taste.
trips with Element,
Right.
skating with Donnie,
Right.
and
So that makes a little more sense when you're like, let me skate as good as the pros, and let me like really like hammer this part down. When you already had like a taste of the industry,
mm-hmm.
you know, and like what it's all about and what's possible.
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I just skated a lot.
Well, that helps, right? So a part like this that comes out, are you having any say in the music and the editing, or are they just kind of making it?
They kind of were doing their thing. Like I
Okay.
said, Matt was going to school and for film and editing, and the guy Artie was a strong individual personality. He
Okay.
definitely had his viewpoints of how he wanted things to be. I just wanted it to kind of, I was just being a team player
Sure.
or being a team leader player to try and make a semblance of something cohesive,
Mm-hmm.
and bring people along, like of all the rippers and everybody in the area.
I mean, this created a few careers.
This went
video.
viral. Yeah, it created some careers.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Rogers, Alexis Sablone, yourself, like
Gallant.
Gallant. It put a lot of people on the map, dude.
Yeah, and shout out to, Boston and its skate history.
Yeah, yeah.
I know Raj is here
Oh,
in
yeah.
the back.
Right, history.
There was like a lot of really sick ass dudes that came out. New England has a really gnarly skate history.
Mm-hmm.
I was really stubborn as a kid and kind of looked to like what was happening in, the videos I was watching, like Trilogy and what was happening in California, more.
Right.
So I didn't, not that I always showed those guys respect, but I didn't put them like on this pedestal of like the dudes.
I could see that. Okay.
Boston's like had and does, it's just looking back on it, you kind of realize how gnarly of a skate history it does have.
Right. Well, I feel like at that time too, well, California had a lot of things, a lot of stuff. Just LA in general had a lot of motion, had a lot of things going on, a lot of different companies, like you said, Trilogy,
California. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that stuff. It was like, I mean, I don't think you were the only person on the East Coast that was paying attention to what was going on and a fan of what was going on out here.
Yeah,
It was like insane. It was insane.
Yeah, you were the epicenter of it, huh? It's crazy where
Dude.
skating's born, beach, the Venice pits. And
We forget sometimes that we're just right here where all this stuff was happening. Jump ramps were set up and people were just launching and doing like it's crazy.
So would you skate down the boardwalk? Like, is it to get to sand gaps? Where did you skate?
It depends on. You have to understand back then too. It was like mid '90s maybe, and there was a lot of, wasn't. There's some gangs and stuff. It wasn't. Like, you had to be kind of watch your back a little bit.
Venice.
Especially with Venice.
Mhm.
You get into Venice, you skate the Venice pits. It's like, okay, getting a little dark. We should go. It's kind of you had to kind of mind your P's and Q's on when to hit the road and stuff like that. But yeah, we just skate everywhere. Take the bus into town and then just skate. Just skate.
Was the Venice pits the main spot?
We had it. It was like our triangle. It was like
Yeah, it was
sand gaps.
one of
Sand gaps, Venice pit, courthouse. That was
Yeah.
kind of our
ponds.
triangle. And the ponds was kind of on the
In
way
there
in the
as
middle
well.
of that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
well,
sure.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still there.
Still there. Drove by it the
Still
other day. Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did you get out and do a line or anything?
No, but I'm like, is Flatground still good? Is
It's
that
probably
another
so
flat?
bad, bro.
I look bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm another Flatground spot. Might be
And they're
useful.
like curved. They're like so little.
They're
what a
tiny.
time.
I saw someone skating there recently.
Really?
I forget what it was.
What's and you were on Blind, right? Before Girl.
Never had a sponsor before Girl.
Oh, that's
I mean, I
cool.
had a float. I did get boards from Blind. Again, Tim Dowling hookup. Gave Rodney Mullen a sponsor me tape. And then, because I just didn't know what was happening with Chocolate. I think in my mind, I didn't even want to skate for Blind. I wanted to skate for Chocolate because that's where all the dudes were, And then, I don't know. Rodney wanted another sponsor me tape, and I didn't send it to him. I had my eye on my prize.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Blind or Rodney or anybody, but that's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's good you
That's
had that.
directing. That's holding the thought.
Exactly.
well,
Yeah.
For it to
also, I
magnetic.
feel like a lot of people sometimes will just kind of take what they can get,
Yeah.
you know, and it maybe will bite them in the ass at the, you know, so you might as well go for what you want.
Yeah, have confidence,
Yeah.
trust in the unknown, enter the unknown without
Right.
fear, for sure.
And I figured, hey, if I just keep skating with these guys and be around and everything, they got to put me on sooner or later, you know?
That was one way to go about
That's
it.
a
really.
yeah. That's dude. That's a hard.
Was Robbie McKinley from this area?
He was from Florida, but he then moved here, so he was kind of in the mix, and he skated for Blind.
Yeah,
he
he
Inland
skated for
Empire?
Blind.
Inland Empire and then Santa Monica. Yeah, you're correct.
He skated for Blind, then went to Red.
Went to ride.
But
for
you were
Blind.
already.
Well, here's the thing: we were both in the same. Our first video for Girl and Chocolate was the chocolate tour with the
Word.
Danny Mnemonic
Yeah,
and the
But wait, was your sponsor me tape to get on Girl and Chocolate for both of you? The listen video, pretty much.
kind of because I never sent them a sponsor me tape. It was just like skating with them.
That's sick.
Then the listen video. Yeah, so you're right. I was kind of getting flow. Daniel Castillo was my first sponsor. He gave me boards. yeah. And then he kind of was like, dude, fuck this dude. And then give him all my boards on my box, you know? So he just pawned me off to the guys down there. But yeah.
I agree though, but being in the mix is definitely a strong way to kind of get in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Being in the
helps.
mix is a good way to get in the mix.
Yeah.
Well,
It
that's
is.
why I was asking PJ earlier too, because were you even skating with these flip dudes? Like you were on flip, but like, were you even I mean, you maybe go on some tours, but out here we were skating together, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
No.
I didn't skate with those dudes, no, but
Mm.
I had already kind of built up like the name for myself.
For sure.
So I wasn't
100%.
am. I just went on there with a board, which I didn't even like see or talk about. It just showed up in a box.
Wait,
I was
right
like-
away?
Yeah,
Right away, they just sent you a board with your name on it.
yeah. Like I got a box. I'm just like
That's
they were
insane.
the biggest boxes too.
I'm sure.
I know you kind of turned down the girl thing, but I thought it was always cool. You had your what do you would say? Like you had, I don't know, you rode for Fourstar and S and Flip. You kind of had your eggs in different baskets, I guess you'd say.
And
But-
you were Fourstar. You were in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I was that was
Yeah.
sick. Did that kind of happen through the whole hey, I'm gonna ride for Flip, but they offered you a spot on Fourstar?
Well, part of Element was that I wrote for their clothing company because Element ended up becoming a pretty big apparel business. But at that time, as a kid, I was like, I want to write for Fourstar, and then I remember specifically them saying, it probably won't happen. That's not no.
Flip said that.
No, this would have been Element as a
Oh,
kid.
excuse me.
Yeah,
Element.
I know
Yeah.
it's weird, but so I was on Element. I was like, I want to write for Fourstar because Fourstar was a shit, you know.
Totally.
And they were like, "That's hard. That's probably not going to happen." It's too, that type of vibe, you know.
Okay.
Like you can't, you know.
Oh,
and like,
not even that you're contractually you can't do it, but you literally just won't be able to get on
Like,
Fourstar.
yeah, like you
luck.
won't be.
Good luck,
Yeah,
pal.
you won't be. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, right. That's what they presented to you. Like you're not going to be able to get.
Well, I was already.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I wrote for them for the clothing for a while, but I did have that in the back of my head of like, I want to write for Fourstar
Right.
someday, you know, that'd be sick. So when not that was my plan, but you know, when I left Element and wrote for Flip, then I was like, well, I'm on S with Eric and Paul, you know, and then it just ended up working out. And it wasn't even like a money grab or anything like that. It was was just cool.
were the dopest.
I was
Good
stoked.
gear,
Yeah.
bro. Straight up.
Yeah, I was stoked on that. And well, actually, I remember at Soltech, one of the things was Eric was trying to, or they were in talks about Soltech buying Fourstar and distributing it and you know making it like bigger and stuff.
Huge, yeah.
So that was like another thing too. For one of the reasons why I wrote for Fourstar,
Oh.
because it was going to become this basically Soltech's apparel business, which
Damn.
later became Altamont.
No way. I had never heard this Fourstar story
Nah,
before. That's
never.
crazy.
Yeah, it was like whisperings. You know how people are talking, business is happening. You know,
Yeah.
it was one of those things. But it stuck out to me because I was in the mix,
Intertwined at
just
that
getting
time,
on S and stuff. It's interesting. And then they were doing a colorway of like a shoe, an Excel shoe, and I was like, yeah, just put a Fourstar on there. And so there ended up becoming like one with a B, like a Boston B. And then, but that was originally supposed to be a Fourstar logo.
No way.
Yeah. But then Eric called me. He's like, yeah, we can't put that on the shoe because there's a star, and Converse will sue because they have the star. That's like,
well, it's even
funny.
Well, to be fair, like it's even crazy to put the Boston logo on there.
Yeah. They had to switch it a little bit.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
I feel like Converse is like closer to the shoe thing than Boston, right? I feel like people just
because of the shoe thing.
Yeah,
later on, actually, I got an accountant who's that's what it became. See, how it's not quite. It's a little different than the official. New York Yankees is the only Major League Baseball team that owns their logo.
Oh.
Everybody else is MLB owns.
Oh, really? Okay, that makes sense.
New York Yankees own their logo.
Yeah, I heard that actually before.
And I had an accountant actually years later, maybe 2 years, 3 years after this, who was Larry Lucchino's, the owner of the Red Sox, wife. They were friends. So then I was like, hey, can I use the, I would have been able to use, I was like, can I use the logo? And they were like, yeah, sure. I didn't end up using it for anything, but the opportunity presented itself. But
so they were about to put the logo, the Fourstar logo on the shoe, and then they just said, no, we can't with the star.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a funny aside story.
No, I love
just try to get
like
skate nerds. That's how into the Fourstar I was. Yeah.
But that's like, because that's funny because that was a pretty iconic shoe that came out that people still talk about to this day. That was supposed to be something completely else, something else.
Yeah, maybe.
I never knew that.
Crazy. It's funny. So yeah, I rode for Fourstar, which was cool to be at a girl company.
Yeah.
And I was hyped on it.
Well, like I said, you're in the build Super Champion Fun Zone, man.
That was. I never had a really great trip to Japan, but that was cool. It's a funny video.
I feel like back then it was like Fourstar was like the premier, and I'm biased, of course, but it was like, dude, the clothes were so good. Everything about it, the videos were good, the clothes were good, the riders were good. Like it was just like the perfect company.
It was a very clean aesthetic.
Yeah,
clean aesthetic.
Clean aesthetic.
Well said. Yeah.
And I feel like the videos were like actually fun. Like it was great skating, but they had a fun vibe to them. They weren't so serious.
Yeah, I remember one time like we were in downtown for like a catalog shoot, and Spike was there, and we went to like a Target or like a Walmart or some type of store department, and just like the toy section, and he just bought a bunch of like props, and just like, I don't know, like Mac Chef with like Hulk glow. I don't know, it's just funny. Spike doing his thing for the Fourstar shoot, so that was cool. So when did the beach curbs become like the everyday spot in Santa Monica? Yeah,
this is a 2005 catalog shoot for Fourstar.
Yeah, and these things were just the funniest shit
Spike
ever.
slams right here. Look, right here. Boom.
Oh, that's where that.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh my god.
He saved that camera though, huh?
Oh, it's amazing, dude. Yeah, it was good vibe. The one that Mark Gonzalez is in the store and hippie jumps over the watermelons. Remember that in the box and stuff. Anyway, honestly, the sand gap, I don't remember. I think it was just always there.
It always seemed like a odd spot to me to like be the everyday spot. I realize you get kicked out of everywhere else sometimes.
Yeah,
but it just.
Well, the whole thing was.
Did you skate there like every day?
Damn near. I mean, it was just it was like our skate park. We just go there. Like, you would go there because you know somebody would be there, or if nobody was there, somebody would eventually show up. You know, it was one of those spots. But you got roller skaters, you got everything on wheels, bikes going by. So it's like you can't kick us out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't. I think a few times a couple cops tried to. We're like. What are you talking about? This is there. Every wheel is here, and you're going to kick us out. So.
Do you think
fun spot?
Do you think that it was just as crowded back then as it is now?
Oh, dude. You mean in terms of skaters or people?
Yeah, skaters.
Man, I think there's
there's more now. I think
hard to. I don't know, dude.
And I'm not even there that often. I think every time I've gone, it seems like there's like a. Strong
Now that it's
group
the
of different
curbs,
peoples.
but it's migrated down to those curbs now. But
right.
I feel like that's the funniest thing to me is that everyone skated something else there back in the
Yeah.
day, and now it's this whole other thing, and no one skates the original stuff.
Well, the original stuff is very rounded. It's
Yeah.
very skated, very But yeah, dude, it was everybody that would come through on a tour or something would like stop there, you know. So, and it was just one of the spots too where you would just like, oh, let's film something. Oh, you got to forget, like, you're feeling something. It was just a lot of the filming there wasn't like planned. I don't think it was just kind of like, hey, let's film.
It's almost like, let's get the day going. You know,
Right.
like you don't get kicked out. Let's start off here.
Did you end up going to Santa Monica like a ton just to get out of that heat?
For sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd get picked up because I didn't have a car until I was probably 21. So I definitely, we got picked up and we definitely would leave the valley. But there was definitely times where there was a lot of skate spots in the valley. So
For sure.
yeah,
Mouse.
yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
good spots, yeah.
So, but yeah, we come down here definitely quite a bit.
When's the first time you saw Paul?
Oh shit, Paul! I saw when he was like either 14, 15, just randomly at I don't know exactly where.
Is that before All City?
You know what, dude? It could have been at Nigel's house, because he used to always skate at Nigel's house, and Nigel used to tell me like, dude, you gotta check out Paul.
Where would you meet Nigel?
Nigel was.
It's funny how OG Nigel is.
Oh,
Dude,
dude,
he's
he's
a
been
OG.
around.
I just saw him last week at the courthouse.
Oh, sick.
Skating.
I think from 118 possibly.
Didn't you sell him gear back in the day?
Yeah.
And I used to sell him a grip of DVS's back in the day.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he'd be like the star of his school. He'd go and sell all it. He'd sell them for more than I'd sell it, so he'd come up.
He was the first reseller.
Yeah, pretty much.
A reseller.
Yeah, he mentioned that last time he was on. He was like, dude, I was so cool when I was getting shoes from you, bro. So crazy, dude.
DVS was the Dunlop brothers? Is
The
that
Dunlops and Gavin, yeah. Like, it was
I see.
Gavin's kind of like orchestrated the idea of bringing everybody together, so to say. He pretty much handpicked the team, and they were the back end of like kind of funding it and kind of making it come together.
Herb?
Yeah, that's my account.
Yeah.
Business guy, yeah.
What was his? Is the Dunlop brothers and him like? What was the connection with him and DVS? Was it 118? Because
Herb used to do their taxes.
do all
their
their stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I used to talk to him about DVS and 118. I'm just like, what is this connection? But I knew he was the the guy.
It seems like within that circle, kind of everybody started to not use everybody, but you should use this guy.
I got a guy.
I got a guy.
Yeah,
you know?
I got a guy.
And
then he
turned out
becomes
Herb was.
the homie.
I mean, he's been such a great guy throughout this journey for myself. I've been him for probably the last 20 plus years. So
Oh wow, sick.
yeah,
Good
for
dude.
sure. Great dude.
Helped me out a ton.
Yeah.
I'm sure, as you said.
Oh, big
yeah,
time. I mean, if I would have seen anything weird, I'd definitely eject real quick. But
Yeah.
no, he's been great.
When you were you were making money at a young age, 15. Were you good with your money? Would you save it or spend it or a little bit of both?
It was okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's not how much money you make; it's how much money you keep. That's always key.
This is the truth.
This is the question. This is the question.
A lot of people like to use the term. They use them as soldiers. Do you use them as soldiers and go out to like get?
Well, you got two jobs, right? You got the one you do for money, and then you got to get your job for your money.
Mhm.
Yeah, that mentality.
Right.
Yeah, I did okay. Anytime you're in the sort of employee and self-employed, independently contracted category, getting paid, you definitely got to invest. You got to invest. You know.
You also got to pay your taxes.
'Cause you're paying
This
taxes
is a 15-year-old
first.
kid. You know that they don't teach this in school. They don't know that. Oh, he's getting paid. He's got. It took me a while to figure that out.
I didn't really start figuring it out until I, was on S Foley, and then I signed a really bad deal actually for like a long term. It's like 6 years,
No
which like
way.
not the best money, but I just was like, I'm fucking committed, I didn't like have an agent or have anybody look at it. It was just like, boom.
That was your
And-
first contract that they presented.
I believe so. I was getting paid, but
Yeah.
that's the first one I remember from them.
This is S you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I want to say 8 months to a year into it, the money just quadrupled, and I was like, what happened, And then I just waited next month, and it was like the same amount,
Huh.
like more than quadrupled. I was like, what's going on? Because I didn't renegotiate anything, It was just like, but that ended up being Mark Waters actually.
Oh wow.
He was like, dude, he just went to bat for me behind not me knowing internally. This is just everything you learn like later on, you know.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this, Kelly.
I never heard this. I mean, I didn't heard the story before particularly, but that's amazing.
Yeah, so that was good.
Mark Waters was amazing, dude.
Yeah, he went to bat for me.
That's amazing.
As a younger kid. So then I was like, I gotta get my scene together. I gotta start,
Wow.
working out shit.
Yeah. Very common in skateboarding just to sign on the dotted line, though, I feel like. Especially back then.
For sure.
Yeah, very common. I mean, who's got lawyers, you know?
I think you just don't think about it in a sense of like, this is not the norm, you know what I mean? And now you have this contract, you're just like, oh, what do I do? Sign it? Like, it just,
Right.
you don't think like, let me go get somebody to look up over this.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You ain't
Where?
going to go to H&R Block and get a good lawyer, you know? Look at
To
the,
do your taxes.
like, what are you going to call it? Like, the billboards? Like, hey, man, I got this skateboarding contract you need to look at.
That's why word of mouth in the industry, in a sense of like, if there's somebody that you're working with, it's really cool to pass it along to somebody else to kind of help them along their journey. Because if they have no idea what's going on, because these things are not taught to you in school. That's one thing that we should be taught in school is about taxes, because it's very important in life.
You start learning from your inner
Financial
circle.
education.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was part of my reading. I read every single Robert Kiyosaki book. It
That'll
was
help
so
you.
funny. There's like 15 of them. I read them all in like so fast too.
Crazy.
Those are really good.
I love
Those are
it.
good books that rich dad poor dad
Educating
shit,
yourself.
you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's to your point. That's what I was saying earlier. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason it's not taught, but yeah, it's a good. It's good to be educated in that respect because it's just energy.
Yeah.
It's just ultimately energy, and when you get a lot of it, it just amplifies what you already are. It's neutral,
Yeah.
but it's going to amplify. It's have a sort of strong directional signal to the system.
Speaking of
Yeah.
energy, what was it? What was the energy like here? Look at this. Look at this
Iconic.
squad.
That is
Yeah.
throwback.
That is insane, dude.
Sheesh.
That's real
That
throwback.
is the S squad back then.
That was a heavy squad.
How did you feel going into it? Because you're kind of like, you always seem like a quiet type of guy. How was it like going thrown into like just to the top like that?
I had a confidence to me because I had been skating for so long, skating with Donnie, everything we talked about, right? I just had it naturally from my upbringing. I definitely didn't get it from S.
Okay.
I didn't even know I was on the team at this point.
Really?
Yeah, I felt that on this tour that Tony was just bringing me along.
Oh.
Like just to have you there? Like
Just
it's-
like, yeah, there's like maybe the kid that like could get on the company.
You
Did you see that thing recently with Rodrigo? Like, I didn't even know I was on the team, and he's like filming for Medic Madi.
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't. But I did see that actually. Yes, the one that story did.
Well,
yeah.
whatever the reason, I had the same kind of experience. with that.
funny, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So-
don't know what that was with communication or how the structure of company versus employee. Like
That
we're the
happens in
king.
skateboarding,
We're the
bro.
king. We tell. I don't. I'm young, so.
The communication
I'm just-
aspects, that happens a lot in skateboarding.
But yeah, in that photo, I didn't even know I was on the team.
That's amazing.
I didn't even think I was just thought I was just like Tony was bringing the kid that might get on the team.
Was
And
this-
and I talked to Paul about this recently because Paul had gone on a trip or two, like to I thought it was Japan, but he said England, and then he had like extras in the DVD, So I was like, oh yeah, Paul's on,
Okay.
and I was like, fuck.
Oh,
I was like unsure,
was it mainly just like a bunch of like demos and stuff on this trip?
Yeah, that was just a demo trip, a classic old skate trip, when things were. Those are big demos, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that squad right there.
Dude.
That's I'd go watch that demo any day of the fucking year. I'm telling you. Wow.
The only dude with his board.
Oh yeah.
Never leave home without it.
And the Krieger 3 bolts.
Oh, we got the 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, because I saw Ronnie had a board with just 3 bolts, and I
Dude.
thought that was cool.
You know what? I honestly think that that came from like up north.
That's what I think it did.
I couldn't. I swore I saw like Sheffy and like these guys do it, and then I did it too. The 3 bolts. I'd always kind of come loose a little bit, but where did you see it? You said
Ronnie
Krieger.
Did you put it exactly the same way every single time?
I just remember like the one they couldn't be on like the same side.
Oh, I see.
But
what
they
you're saying.
started to,
Rattle.
they started to break, so then I
Yeah.
went back to 4.
Right. Yeah. I
I was trying to be cool like Ronnie.
I went from 3 to 2 sometimes. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
2 bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 bolts on
That's
each
legit.
truck. Yeah.
Just pure laziness.
I
Did
don't
you
know.
have-
It was a cool. Yeah. I don't know.
Just
I don't
joking.
know.
I'm just
I don't
joking.
know.
Did you go to SF often to skate? You
Me?
know, like
No.
Northern. Yeah, because I don't.
No, maybe
I-
Jerron
you
did.
did,
But
yeah. There's
quite
like
a bit.
E&B footage and
Yeah.
stuff. So, did you go to like FTC and just the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole experience. I mean, I stayed up there for like a good 2 months, probably one summer, and people were like, "Dude, aren't you from San Francisco?" I was like, "Dude, nah, I'm not." I spent a lot of time up there, but nah. I mean, at that time, everybody was like very warm, welcoming, and like very cool. So I always wanted to go up there. So I'd stay up there with Mike York. I stayed with him quite a bit, and
Where did he live?
he lived in Berkeley. So
Really? All right.
we would take the BART out to his place, but we'd also go over to our buddy's Eris, and he had this big warehouse in Oakland, and you'd probably seen it in a couple of videos, but like he had like skate spots inside of his warehouse, and this warehouse was an actual house because his dad was a gnarly artist. He made like these metal sculptures, and like he's very well known. I forget his name at the moment. I just feel bad, but that was like a really like hot spot for everybody. Everybody would go there.
Oh,
Ron
wow.
Allen.
Sick.
Um,
It's like a skate loft, an
skate-
artist loft.
Pretty much.
but,
Pretty
like,
much.
sweet.
But he was very open, like, and welcoming to everybody. You know, so all the dudes at that time would always go back to his crib and like skate and hang out all night. And it's one of those spots. Yeah.
Crazy. It's super sick.
Good times out there.
Did you see LeVar?
Yeah. Spent
Yeah.
quite a minute with LeVar as well. Great skateboarder, great kid. He was very young at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a big inspiration for me.
Hell
Seeing
yeah.
somebody not same age, but
Yeah.
just like, okay, this dude's young and
He
gnarly.
was
And Brandon
nonstop.
Turner, there were a few where I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, no, he was heavy at that time, and he was on Blind. He had his moment. Definitely.
Yeah, he was like, the man.
And actually, I've been seeing. I don't know if you guys have been seeing him. But it seems like he's on the gram now. He's kind of like
oh, sick.
poking his head out a little bit to kind of like.
Sick.
It's pretty rad. To
Is he
see that he's
skating
around.
or?
You know what? I'm not sure, but it seems like he's talking about it and getting the motions too.
Okay,
If he's not
okay.
skating, it seems like he's about to.
Damn, him and his brother, Marcus.
Dude.
Marcus, dude.
Oof.
I always trip because there was like a 4-in-1. He has the profiles and he's skating a girl board in it.
For who was Marcus?
LeVar.
LeVar?
And I was like, damn, now he would have been sick on girl too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I saw it was a clip at the library.
Maybe it was on the tail end of the Blind situation. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Talking about Plan B and questionable, and you growing up on that, and then, you know, the World Camp. They weren't the same, but they were like kind of very, very, very similar. But how did that feel? Because you were on the Plan B when it came back, right?
Mhm.
How was that, like a nostalgic move for you, or was it like, what? How did that even come about?
I think just being influenced as a kid, it
I mean-
was always in my head as like the brand.
Yeah, it's crazy company.
And yeah.
Certain brands don't
I-
come along too often that change skateboarding.
Yeah, I mean, people knew that like I liked Plan B. Even like when I rode for Element on the van I had, it was like a Plan B sticker next to an Element sticker.
Amazing.
You know.
Yeah.
Because it was just like a skate sticker,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
which was funny because later on Plan B did a licensing deal at Billabong. So Element and Plan B were the two board brands. So I actually kind of did a little bit of a circle back to Element and
Oh,
Johnny.
okay. You manifested
Yeah,
this.
called it for it happened.
Funny.
But I think when the Plan B thing came into the industry, it was a little bit, do I want to say shake up? It was an interesting move because we, you know, from the, you know, we're in the industry, but from the outside looking in, it was like this huge move where they were getting all the A-lister skaters at the time, paying them some big money to come in. And, you know, we're like, wow, is this going to last? How do people get, you know, whatever, 10,000 a month each rider and this and that? How is this going to even be sustainable? You know? And it was kind of like this
It was
interesting
a huge,
moment, you know? Interesting moment.
It was a huge. I think it was a huge shakeup.
Okay, so shake up is the right word.
I think
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel any of that? Was it just like, wow, this is like kind of crazy, or what was the vibe?
Well, I would go to San Diego. I would stay in San Diego
Uh-huh.
and skate with Gallant because he lived there, or would, when he came out from Boston, would stay in San Diego because he rode for Kayo or Expedition
That's right.
in DC, which were both in that area. So I spent a lot of time in San Diego and then met Danny, and he had heard that I liked Plan B. It was like my thing.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that was when the seed was planted or what. But my first, I mean, and at this point, it was so interesting because I'm still kind of just floating around, but making money. It was interesting times, just like in between trips, in between Boston, East Coast, West Coast. I didn't buy a house at that time yet or have even a place yet. I was just
floating.
It's funny. So I was staying with Gallant, and I just wake up one day, walk upstairs, and Danny's in the living room, like on the couch, because he had heard, that I was staying down there. That was the first night there.
Okay.
So somehow, it was on the radar, on his radar, about stuff, skating, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably heard like, this new kid, new whatever big skater. He probably just wanted to.
You weren't new.
Not new, but I was around. So.
Yeah.
So I remember like, I don't know if we talked about it, but he just knew.
Okay.
But that was probably a year before it really formed.
Oh wow.
That was like the first approach in the sense of like him being in the living room, kind of like opening that door and seeming interested.
I don't know. It was just the first time I met Danny. He knew I liked Plan B. It was definitely, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember exactly how the gears started to go on that.
Well, because they took like P-Rod from Girl,
Mhm.
right?
We felt it.
Yeah.
Man.
Who else?
Dude,
who else was on the
Gallant left Expedition.
Gallant.
That was on the team. I was so bummed when he left to go to that.
Who else
Yeah.
was on the Plan B first squad?
Wenning?
Gallant, Brian Wenning.
Yeah, he left Habit.
Oh,
Dude, they
wow.
swooped a lot of
Yeah, they
people
did.
from big companies,
Yeah.
dude.
They did.
That's why everyone was
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
pissed.
Well, they did what they did. They did what they did initially. That's how they formed Plan B from the get-go.
They did.
True.
Yeah.
Second lineage.
Yeah, I think they were trying to shake it up a bit.
Well, they were trying to make this like powerhouse team at the same time. I feel like, like how it was before. If they were going to reintroduce Plan B, they were going to come soft. They weren't going to come with some just, whatever team. They were going to like do it. That for sure. With Colin McKay and Danny Way at the helm of, 100%. They're making moves.
They did it. They did that.
Yeah.
So were you stoked when you got on? Was
Yeah.
it like this thing, like nostalgic kind of moment, where you're like, wow, I'm on this heritage brand. I'm on the brand that I used to watch back in the day.
Yeah, I was really hyped.
Nice.
I'm on a team with my friends,
Yeah.
Paul, Gallant, making good money.
Yeah.
On something new. We had ownership at the beginning.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
remember
didn't
that.
know that. Oh, shit.
So there was a lot of check the boxes on that one.
Okay.
That was cool.
That definitely makes
Sal-
it more enticing.
Mm.
For sure. Your ownership? Really? Okay.
Sal Barbier did the original, was going to do the art direction originally. He was in the mix for a second there.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah. I know I'm missing things about it, but yeah, I was stoked.
That's cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
You guys had that video. What was it was like a promo video. That kind of was like your guys'
Super
first thing.
Future?
Yeah. That was. I remember that one song. It's like "Your Time Will Come," and I just always stuck in my freaking head.
Yeah. At this, yeah. Yeah, I was hyped on Plan B. It's cool. It's strong. It's fresh.
Who was filming for Plan B at this time? Are we just filming with Scuba a lot, or who were you filming with?
That's a good question. That was Rhea Chevers that filmed that.
Okay.
That was Sean Rogers on a DC trip. I had actually tried this same line on a S trip a couple years before.
Really?
I had it in
No
my
way.
head that I wanted to go back and do it.
Complete that.
That was
Amazing.
like 5 minutes out of the van.
No.
Because I had been thinking about it for like a year or two. once I go back to Paris, I'm going to the Dome and I'm doing that line.
It was already done in your mind, bro. That's
yeah, because
amazing.
that was at a time where if I got into a battle with a trick, I went through the battle, like I landed it,
Right.
and I could remember the ones that I didn't because there was like less than 10. Like I just, and it, like I held that, like I need to just get this done,
Yeah.
you know. And that, for some reason, that line at the Dome was one of them.
That's
so
amazing.
good, bro.
It was on at this point I was on DC. This is a DC trip.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, like a year or two before that.
Just hungry
I was
after
with
playing.
Eric.
Knew it. I'm sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off.
yeah. I remember that day. It was funny.
Wow.
Did I don't know if this
But
kind
there
of
was a lot of
leads-
random filmers. I forget who was the Plan
The
B.
main, okay.
The main Plan B filmer.
Gotcha.
But eventually got a few heads.
Okay.
What did that move to Plan B kind of get you over to DC as well with Danny there? Is that how kind of worked out?
Yeah, no, it totally was. So when Paul got on Nike, or got the deal with Nike, right? He was on S, and was about to get a pro shoe, which ended up becoming, I think, Eric's like 7th shoe, but it was a really good one.
Okay.
But he went to ride for Nike. When that happened, maybe a few months, I was getting calls from Adidas, and I was getting courted to skate for Adidas because they were going to move skateboard, because Adidas always had a skate program. You know, I may not be the one to talk on Adidas' skate history, but I'm just telling you my experience at the time, what was going on. The Adidas was separated their company under originals and performance.
Okay.
So all the sports were under performance, technical shoes, all the basketball, highly sort of performance-based shoes.
Sure.
And then the originals was all the classics, the shell toe or the Superstar,
Yeah.
and all those shoes. And then skateboarding was always under performance, but they made a really kind of like not the most, pretty shoes. You know, they were always very performance based. This would have been like the Jamal Williams, shout out to Jamal Williams, Boston head.
Matt Beach area?
Matt Beach.
Yeah.
Yep, good call. Shout out to Matt Beach, dude. Paulo Diaz, that type of era where it was kind of random, but they did have a skate team for like a long time.
Very, very low key, but yes.
Yeah. But then they were going to move it to originals and make like this big play because maybe, because they seemed like Nike was or whatever. But anyways, I flew up there to Portland like 3 or 4 times, and I was like really stoked on the idea. I was loyal to S. I loved S, It was like my shit growing up too, like Eric and all that stuff, So, I mean, I had no thought to leave. I was good. I was getting paid okay. It was pure skate, like, the athletic companies, that was just, it was a thing, but I was pretty stoked on it. So, yeah, I flew up there like three or four times, dude. And it was like kind of that planted the seed about potentially leaving S to ride for, And then Eric ended up leaving too to ride for Lakai at the same time. Which affected Soltec as a company big time, and I thought was like, yeah, definitely bombed. But it didn't affect me as like, well, now I gotta leave, because I was just like, I'm stoked on it. Like I'm at this point confident enough in myself and who I am as a person and skater, and maybe my leadership abilities aren't fully developed, but they're definitely developing and better than they were as a kid. Filming the Colosseum type of stuff, where I was definitely a strong leader, but it just couldn't articulate it or verbalize it in ways. So that was all kind of happening. Weird, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I never knew the Adidas thing.
Yeah.
So what happened with that?
So when I was like gonna do it, I don't know if it was Danny Collin or Plan B at this time had hired this guy, Tom Jones. Same name as the singer, yes.
I was
but
gonna
really
say, man,
good dude.
great music.
Really good dude. He was Ken Block's protege, like at DC, because Ken, marketing genius in a lot of ways.
Sure.
He had taught this guy, or Ken. Tom had worked for Ken, and they were tight. And I mean, DC, it's early days, just really rad, epic. Skateboarding, entrepreneurial success story, that book and everything, it's cool. What DC did, what they stood for on their principles and Kalis and Stevie and all that stuff. So Tom, he went to work for Plan B and to really blow it up. And that's when I started to like, you know, be in the office more, learn more from Tom, really double down on like trying to help Plan B, marketing, graphics, everything. Like that was like kind of my foray, like to learn internal stuff. I always had that because we grew up skating and around brands and you know, we know that stuff as far as, you know, basic.
Sure. You just wanted to get more into it.
More into it, yeah. Feel more part of it on the internal end. So I really respected Tom. Yeah. He taught me a lot, which he learned from Ken. So, and I was friends with Ken, but Ken and Damon had sold DC already. So they weren't like checked out, but they were not there like full time, you know. I think Ken always wanted to be the athlete and, you know, went and formed a successful racing career and developed the whole category. And Damon went off to have other entrepreneurial success. Shout out to those, you know, it's super inspiring.
Sure.
But so they sold the company to Quicksilver, and Tom then came into Plan B, and we were doing that stuff. And he would say, well, you should take a meeting with DC first, you know. So I took a meeting at sort of the last second with DC, and because DC at this time was like a $500 million company with skateboarding at the forefront. And
that's crazy to think.
And they were like, yeah, hey, like, you know, the skateboarding category at Adidas, I think at the time was like 6 million, which is so funny to think about now. And now it's hundreds of millions.
Sure.
And, you know, it's not their main focus. You know, which is just actually, if you know business, it's a classic like sales line that like everybody would use. It's not anything like, you know, it's not like your epic sales pitch, but it really kind of resonated with me. I'm like, yeah, Plan B, DC, I'm down. Tom, I really like Tom. Like we can make DC, because it was going in that like, it was going in a kind of off where it used to be. So we were like, yeah, let's just make it like what it was again, kind of like fresher and more technically performance based, or just like kind of dope how it was, you know. So so at the last minute, I just ended up, and they also offered like a ridiculous amount of money. So I mean, it's not about it, you know.
No, but it is a byproduct.
It had an effect, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
For making the decision. So it's funny because not even my association with DC isn't as strong as other companies.
Right.
But it's actually where I made it.
It's funny because I just picture, when I think of PJ Led, I think of S. You know, I don't think of think of DC.
It's funny.
Yeah.
How long were you with DC?
5 years.
Oh, wow, amount of time,
5 years.
Yeah.
When did S take its like hiatus? How long after like this
2011,
scenario?
12.
Okay, so that was like later than this, right?
Yeah, I was gone for a few years.
Okay. So interesting, man.
Yeah, you had a pro shoe on S2. Were they trying to like counter, or the probably money was so big they probably couldn't even match anything? Did they try to offer you anything else?
I think they were and would have, at least gotten close. But
was it just time? Was it time to Costin goes to over here to Lakai, Paul goes to Nike? Like, was the band being kind of broken up? Was it just time or what?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Communication also wasn't like strong, but yeah.
It's so crazy, dude, to be involved with like, you've been involved with some of the biggest skateboard companies in the industry.
Learned a lot.
I can imagine, dude. You've been around like amazing people too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I learned a lot, and I am holding a lot of like knowledge and wisdom in that area and arena.
Right.
That I be cool to express in some way, shape, or form, creatively or business-wise someday, whether in the skateboarding world or outside of it. But yeah, it was I basically got my MBA too in skating.
Yeah.
Being around some heavy people.
Did did Adidas offer you like a pro shoe or anything like that?
I think it was part of the deal, yeah.
Okay.
But they were a little reluctant to like get into like negotiations. I think they were looking for somebody who was like let's just go in, you know.
Was Yasha the guy you met at the demo a long time ago, the one you were talking to, or no?
No, that was Yasha's boss at the time,
Oh,
or
no way.
some guy, some guy that had worked at Adidas USA that probably reported to the same person in Germany that Yasha might actually have been still skating at this point. Funny enough, good dude, Yasha.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really good dude.
He's been in that spot for some time now, right? In that
Yeah.
position? At
Yeah,
Adidas?
he skated for Adidas and now he's running the show. It's pretty cool.
Pretty rad.
Pretty cool to see.
Definitely.
They did offer a shoe. Yeah, that was a thing. Then Dennis Bujas is the one that got whatever that was like.
Oh, no way.
They just kind of gave it to him. Yeah, funny.
Wow. He got a great shoe out of that deal, bro. I'll tell you that right now,
Perfect.
man.
Wait,
Perfect.
that shoe's still going.
Yeah.
Perfect fit.
Oh, yeah.
German.
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
fit.
everything's good,
Yeah,
huh?
it's an amazing fit.
Wow, dude.
That's crazy.
Like I said, that I'm maybe not the one to speak on like Adidas, their whole thing in skating, but it was like a funny moment in my experience
Yeah.
that came up.
Right.
That was the kind of the catalyst for other avenues that I went down.
And then, I mean, like, I don't know. There's so much stuff we could talk about, but I think like you're known for your flat ground. And then, like, you won the S Games of Skate, then you won the Battle of the Barracks twice in a row. You know what I mean? And was that anything? I mean, I feel like those weren't even a thing. Like, you're not practicing for those, right? You're just skating. You go in that day, you play whoever you're going to play, and that's it. That's what I feel like outside looking in. Is that kind of the truth? Is that like how it goes down? Some people train for this type of stuff,
Yikes.
No, but you know what I mean? They get ready. They see who they're going to battle. They go, what tricks do they don't have? What can I get them on, I feel like you just go in and skate. You just do your thing.
Yeah.
But it's like here you are playing Mike Mo, right? In the championship battle, right? At the old barracks, by the way,
Yeah, I think
which
it
was
did.
fucking one of the best barracks, I think.
Hell yeah.
But you guys are friends, right? You and Mike Mo?
100%.
And here you go playing, like I said, I feel like you just kind of come in, you're going to just, it's another day.
I
at
mean,
the
you can
office for
totally
you.
see I'm super uncomfortable with that board, except, that worked, but this was like me going through board molds and
Oh, really?
still figuring out that stuff.
Wait, so when you're going through
enough.
board molds and you're not really that comfortable with your board, like, are you worried now, or are you just having a bad day, or are you trying to get through it? Like, what's the...
Well, I mean, it's just flat ground, so it's
Yeah.
just something you can still, do.
Finagle
and
a little bit?
Finagle
Okay.
a bit.
But
Is this the Adidas right when you're talking to Adidas at this point?
No, this was after DC.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I just started wearing Adidas again.
Okay, sorry.
But but Mike Mo is one of the best skateboarders. He changed the game a lot,
Yeah.
with the video parts that he came out with and everything. So I think even just to play Mike Mo in a game of skate is a little intimidating. Are you at all intimidated when you go out and play games of skate, especially in front of a large crowd like that? I don't take you as a large crowd guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Battle of the Barracks is something
it-
different than a contest, It's all eyes on you. Games of skate, flat ground.
yeah, I remember one of the first times I went to the barracks, I think it was like Greco was playing skate with maybe a Carol. I don't know, it was really like random, just like, whoa, okay, that's not what you'd expect to see every day.
Right.
Yeah. But it was one of those, that's what you're saying. It was like organic. It was like, that was what was happening.
Yeah.
And people play games of skate just to fuck around and warm up,
Sure.
It wasn't like a,
Take yourself so serious.
yeah, and I still held that even, just because that's just what makes games of skate fun. I didn't,
Yes.
want to get into. Yeah, so that's how I always approached it. Even if there was like other people like watching, it was still basically just your homies playing skate,
Yep.
and it's more about like just flat ground and learning,
Yeah. Right.
than it is about like having there's not a competition.
No, I think in the beginning it was just like we're warming up,
Warm
and we're
up,
just
yeah.
kind of like seeing where we are in the day, you know.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That was it.
Yeah, so I always held that sort of mentality about the whole thing, even though I thought it was cool that they, you know, held events, brought people together to just do funny, cool shit with cool people.
Right.
Sure.
It's ridiculous and fun, awesome, and weird at the same. You know, it was just, you know, the barracks was just a cool place for people to go skate. Everybody to go skate, no bust. You
That's
know?
what was fun about the first barracks. Like I said,
I
like
like the first barracks was dope.
that
Yeah.
barracks was really fun. It wasn't anything that we knew of. It wasn't any pressure. You would go in and skate, and if something happened, maybe you film it. There wasn't any like. It was like wholesome.
Yeah.
It was very wholesome.
That was
Yeah.
when it was like 10 to 15 people in there. It wasn't like
Yeah, it was-
blown out like a,
No.
a spectacle and all that. But
No.
Yeah.
No.
And you knew you were going to see something sick that day if you went there. Like, you knew there was going to be someone dope doing their thing. filming
Especially if
something.
I was skating, man.
I remember skating with Ave a lot there. Actually, I still
Dude.
think about those sessions.
That's another part of the
Super
barracks
inspiring.
too. You would skate with people you never really would skate
Yeah.
with.
yeah.
And Steve gave me a key, so I was just like going at like whenever, where, you know. And then street skating at the time was so hard. You
Mm.
get kicked out of everywhere. There was no like meetup spot
Yeah.
like that, B&B type stuff. So, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna skate the barracks every day. So then I just started going there like all day, every day for a while.
I think a lot of us were,
Yeah.
to be honest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sharpening that tool.
Yep.
Practicing. Just kidding.
Skating.
Just kidding,
Yeah,
just
we were
kidding.
skating. Just joking.
We were talking before the show because we were like, you know, I'm interested because like you skate almost every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just came out with your own boards here, which is like your shape, your. Let me grab it real quick just to show people, but like you've.
You
This is
designed
like
the whole thing.
your mold, this is your shape, and people can go get it on your website, pjlad.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
How often does a skater like you go through a board? Like, is it like a few days? Is it a week, 2 weeks? What is your? I mean, obviously, it kind of depends what you're skating too. If you're skating
Yeah,
like
true.
skate parks and stuff, maybe it lasts a little longer, but average.
Yeah, true. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Those boards are epoxy resin, so they're stronger
Okay.
and they kind of stiff and hold the pop longer. So like a week or two, you know, skating every day. But I really could skate it longer.
Oh, you could, yeah.
They don't flex. If the tail doesn't flex, I'm good. Like I could continue to skate a board. But if I have the option to set up a new board, I'll set up a new board.
Yeah.
You know, if I have a stack of boards, then I'll just set it up. But
Do you
they
leave-
last longer with those. They actually start to feel better actually too, because they're really stiff at first.
Oh.
Do you leave your board in the car?
So the thing with epoxy resin is it doesn't sog out. It doesn't absorb heat.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Amazing.
It does also. I was down in Costa Rica for almost a year, skating every day, where you just sweat everything out, hold my board, and there was a point where I was bringing 2 pairs of shoes
Jeez.
because I was sweating through my shoes. Where I would step on the board, it would go. This is gross, but it would just go onto the grip. Like the grip tape
No
was just
way.
wet,
Oh.
but so that's
Damn.
gross. But the board didn't absorb the water.
Oh.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was just insane. It didn't flex in that extreme heat.
Okay.
In the extreme cold, we get like really stuff because obviously if you take vapor and make ice is solid, so it would be,
Yeah.
like maybe too stiff. But yeah, it doesn't flex out. So I leave them in the car. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But if it's a water-based
That's when
construction,
you can.
it's gonna flex because the water's gonna heat up.
And you're like you've been going through shapes and trying to, you're very hands-on is what I should say with like your shapes and what you like to skate and everything like that. I just went through some people call it madness, right? I don't know if you would equate it to madness or just kind of fine-tuning what you want in a board.
Well, I learned all the parameters. I learned all the metrics.
Mm.
You know, I just went into the engineering mode to kind of learn what all of the numbers represent. When you start to design a board mold, it can get pretty in depth. So when I rode for, Element and rode the Girl boards, that PS was pressing on the D mold, which were really flat. I liked those. And then they actually, Element would make boards from that mold for me for a while there, which is really cool. Those are some good days. That lasted maybe like 6 months, a year. But then it kind of just got dated, that mold. It got really like flat on the nose and tail, where I was getting stronger and could pop more. So I didn't want like the low 18 degree. I wanted more like up, what it is now, basically. But, I'm still just, had just turned pro, and I just felt like asking for a board mold. Although I do remember asking Ian Deacon about it. He was like, yeah, it's not out of the question. But we never explored that, just because I felt I had turned pro recently. And I was just a little out of my league to start like getting into like their manufacturing of like their presses. I just wanted to be like, I'm spray painting other factories' boards and doing this, but I'm supporting.
Were you telling them that?
I was just showing them by doing it and writing like sticker, like just so it's visibly like, no, this is like your stuff, or appeared to be.
Yeah.
But I definitely was like trying other factories and boards and all that. And whatever brands were coming out of there. So, I just didn't want to like, I guess, again, I'm young, meddle too much. Even though I totally could have. I could have just gone in there and been like, yeah, this is what it was an education process to some extent.
Sure.
But if I had just sort of like confidently gone in, it probably could have worked out. So when I left Flip to ride for Plan B, that was obviously, another thing too, where they had their own factory, the distribution there. Syndrome had their own factory, and they were producing boards. And those boards, they weren't their best boards either. If I'm with all due respect to the times, they were pretty flexy. And I did work with a guy, Troy Churchill, for a while there to change the molds at that time. Who I think set up ASF Clutch, which is a popular wood shop nowadays. I think that wood shop is 100% robots.
What?
Like,
Really?
I don't think it touches a human hand. I could be so wrong.
Wow.
I haven't really dived into this stuff because I've actually gotten the mold done. So I haven't like been up to date on what factories, and skateboarding's in a weird spot too.
Sure.
So sometimes molds and equipment and stuff changes hands, as we were talking earlier with, So I think that factory is like, it literally just sanded, boom, and then just goes out the door, which is wild.
That is wild.
Super wild.
So I didn't really press too hard at Plan B at the beginning. I mean, everything else was so on point, and was riding them, but not happy with it. I was just making it work. I was just making it work. And then after about a year or two, Plan B moved to Billabong. With the licensor set up to eventually sell. Because Billabong was like buying companies, Ruka,
Right.
Von Zipper. They had bought Element years earlier. They were just purchasing companies, crazy amounts. So we were just positioning, or those dudes were more at the forefront of positioning that company to be purchased.
Sure.
Which that's a dualistic statement too. If you want to, build a company and keep it and have it be your thing, and then that's another avenue too. That's totally fine. It's just you have to hold it, and you have to continually hold it and keep your eye on it, and whatever. So when that happened, I was like, okay, now we're with Schmidt. I'm gonna fully get a mold now made, because in my eyes, he was the premier board maker,
right,
or at least had sold the most amount of boards and had been the main manufacturer. So I dived in with Paul, and this was when maybe 2007, about making the molds and stuff, and quickly learned I was in for a long road, that this wasn't going to come easy, and I couldn't figure out something was very wrong, but I continued to just learn how to make board molds and constructions. And I went down to Tijuana and just started measuring the different parameters of the boards, and then what on the CAD program makes, how do you get that result?
Right.
And then he was giving me samples. I really was just looking for a flat middle concave board with a steep nose and tail.
Which what you have now, pretty much.
It's what I have now.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. I went through like a whole education with it to an nth degree, but it's really not that complicated.
But it is different though, because if you, like you were saying before, when you use resin, it's a different thing. When you use like glue, they have to have more concave, right? Is that
Yeah,
what you were
so
saying?
that's a good story to tell.
Yeah.
Because I'm now just kind of deciding how much I want to go into the Paul Schmitz stories or not. But it's a good story about him and Chris Markovich, because Chris Markovich went to Paul, said he wanted a thin board. So Paul was like, okay, we can make a thin board, but we have to add a lot of radiuses everywhere. We have to add concave because you have to make it strong. It's just water-based glue constructions.
Okay.
So that ended up becoming the Featherlight mold, which I think is the most sold board mold in the history. And I don't know if Chris got a cut of that, but he deserves it.
Whoa.
So that became like a thin board with a lot of concave, but that was the original sort of deep dish concave in the popsicle stick era. I can't speak for 80s boards. That's before my time.
Sure.
I think they were just making concave in the front of the board to make sure your foot's sort of solid when you're skating transitions and all that. It's just before my time.
Yeah.
But in the popsicle stick era, it was always flat concave, because mechanically speaking, you're doing, kick whatever, how you do a kickflip this doesn't make sense to have the type of concave. It just it messes you up. But,
Slightly replicating a freestyle board, so to say.
Pretty much. It's almost like too simple. So that stuff came in later for strength.
Yeah.
Paul, he made his boards thicker, 10.5 mil thick, instead of the usual 10, to try and get some strength in his boards. And then I imagine that's why Chris Markovich wanted that thinner board. Then that became sort of the mold that everybody copied. To this day, people, I can look at it and say that was just the original copy, And I didn't like it for a lot of reasons. And that deep middle concave being one, because I want to feel my board. I want to sort of like, it's called an anatomical sort of design, where the heel and you can design shoes like that too a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the best skate shoes are anatomically designed, where you feel the heel in the forefoot. So I personally always like that flatter stuff. Just going back from conditioning as a kid, skating that those demold Schmidt girl boards and Taylor Dykema made chocolate boards from my childhood.
Why do you like does it particularly help with something skate wise? Just the way you feel?
Flip tricks.
Okay.
Flip tricks biomechanically. If you ask any physicists or any engineer or sort of biomechanic sports medicine type, the way that you do a kickflip, you want to be able to feel the board like that, because so it just makes sense for flip tricks in my so you can make do with the sides up, and people have, and in my opinion that's why the wider board has become I guess a trend now, is because you're getting more of the middle flatness.
Makes sense, yeah.
It does make sense.
But I always thought the concave and the size was meant for actually so it could grip your foot better. That's the weird understanding I would think, but I always like flat boards too. I don't know why that flat ground always made sense for flat boards.
Well, your foot isn't flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch people skate it long enough, if you watch dudes, they start to their stances start to move like this. So it starts to fuck you up in a way.
Like with the concave boards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you naturally want to sink into the board. Because you're trying to ground.
Okay.
You're trying to ground, to get to feel for it.
Right.
Right. And then you flick off the nose. You don't flick off the side.
So basically, on this board though, you don't see often the flat boards with the steeper nose and tail. So is this kind of the only one out there that you kind of know of?
Yeah, 100%. And you can make flat boards nowadays, since all the new constructions have come out with, carbon fiber laminates and the heated glue constructions, because you can make a stiff board. It may have a breaking point, maybe not so much with the carbon fiber stuff, but at least it doesn't flex. And then with the carbon fibers, it's just not really going to break unless it's seriously put weight on it. You can get a board to not break with flex, but to me that just defeats the whole purpose, because once you press down on the tail to pop, you're losing all your pop. You're losing your proprioception or your fast twitch muscle connection.
You don't want it to flex.
Yeah, you don't. You also, if it's a complete metal board, it's going to reverberate. That's like the extreme. You don't want that either. So there's an energy absorption that does have to happen with the organic material. That's why you haven't seen it go 100% away.
Yeah.
So I can see where there could be some preference there. I'm not trying to negate people's preferences.
No.
But I do want to delineate between like conditioning and reality of like, you know, what you're looking for. And so I'm just, you know, this is a whole long thing, but I'm trying to give you the parts to it that tell somewhat of a story. But it was definitely a situation of like, yeah, then I went to Schmidt to get the mold, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not happening. You know, and he is telling people that I am knowledgeable more than any skater he has ever met when it comes to molds and that stuff, but I still didn't have the board.
Okay.
So it presented a little bit of an issue. So I went to a guy and just got a mold done. That it took a little bit to get in contact, you know, with somebody that could do it. But we just hammered it out fast.
This was years ago.
This was years ago. Yeah, 2013 or something, 2012, something.
Gotcha.
13, 14.
Was that the same shape as this now, or is this
been
a little
tweaked.
bit tweaked? Okay.
It's been tweaked
Gotcha.
some.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to learn the numbers and stuff. It can get yeah, it's fun to me.
Well, I'll just tell you right now, because like looking at your board right here, it is very flat, but then you got the little concave here, and then it's a steep nose and tail, which of course, going back to like my day, I loved steep noses and tails, but you stand on this thing and it's like, I think I've just been conditioned, maybe along with everybody else, to just be used to a concave style board. You know, it's like, this is like, I would love to even try, even though I'm through with all the madness stuff. I would love to try a flatter board but look at the concave though. It's like, you've got the best of both worlds right here. That's what I think.
Yeah, I like the steeper nose and tail because, I've built up a certain strength too. So I can pop a board with a steep nose and tail. And we need to start putting numbers to these, I think, as skaters, at least to the nose and tail angle and concave depths.
Oh, okay.
There are other parameters that have numbers, but
sure,
I think those two should be more common language. So this is 21.5.
This is the angle of this is 21.5.
21.5, yeah.
On both?
On both. It's symmetrical in that way. Taylor Dyckman boards with symmetrical nose and tail angles too, interestingly enough. Oh. It's funny. But not anybody else was. That's why they skated pretty good.
Okay.
So I just got it done. And it shouldn't have taken as long as it did. It definitely affected my skating, but I learned a lot and I'm better for it. Whereas, when people say I don't want to think about it, I understand where that statement is coming from, because that's not the point of skating, to like think it. No, you just want to skate and be in the zone and flow and enjoy it, land shit and, learn and stuff. But I do think that statement is coming from a place of a little bit of fear, knowing like once I get into the arena of like trying to learn all this stuff, I can't come out of it like clean with knowing, I'm going to get a little bit confused by it all.
Like you said, like I'm the type, I think I've come to the conclusion that I don't want to think about it. I'm that type of, because it's just too much for me. It's like I've gone through all these iterations of listening to Schmidt, listening to Andy Anderson, listening to all my friends about different, styles of trying to get the perfect board. But also I'm trying to like, just skate slappies, but then I want to like click my tail around, and I want the best of both worlds. So right now I'm trying to like really dial it in and have the best of both worlds, where I can have like, I want a 775. I know that's not going to happen if I want to do slappies, and the 775 truck is so small. So I have to make, just, what do they call it? I got to make, I don't know. I got to make I got to concede a little bit. I got to conform and just figure out what I actually like to skate.
Mm-hmm. How much time and energy are you going to put for a return?
I don't want to put time. I want to just try.
Well, what type of skating you're doing is really important.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm coming from the place of like predominantly doing a lot of flip tricks and popping my board. If I wasn't popping my board, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be really that relevant.
But here's the thing,
right?
though.
If I'm just riding like and carving, the shape might matter, you know, because it's like a surfboard. I want to like, you know, it has a certain like style to it.
But now you want to, if you want to do both.
But if you take a board and you just stand it still and you do an ollie, you're in like a different arena of things, because you've added your mind whether you want to think about it or not. So you have to have a few key concepts down about like what certain, you know, let's say a nose and tail angle, how it's going to react, and how much strength you have to pop it. Because you ever see kids nowadays trying to ollie on or learn flip tricks on boards that are too big for them. They do 80s ollies and they can't flip it around. You know, that's just because they don't have this. That's an extreme example using the kids, but they don't have the strength to get it around. That can also happen with if you get the nose and tail too steep, right? Because you can build it up, but at a certain point, it's like lifting. You know, I'm not going to go bench 500 pounds.
Right.
You know, you got to work your way up. That can happen. And then it's also annoying if you know you have more sort of flick or pop, but you can't get it out of the board. And that's going back to when the nose and tail became too pancaked on the old boards I was riding growing up, where I just wanted steeper nose and tail because I had built up that certain strength.
Sure.
Sort of fascia strength, type 2 muscle, that like fast twitch.
Yep.
It's like what they jump with. And there's a neuron connection to that type 2 fascia too that people don't really take into account. That's where you see like trainers on the Bosey ball, the balance board, like throwing balls, because it's indifferent, because they got to develop the brain muscle connection, because it's fast twitch. It's apply, you know, so it needs to be quick. So that's like, because you're not really like thinking skating when it comes to like popping. It's like almost happening beyond your ability to sort of process it. Although it all starts to slow down when you enter like, you know, whatever the zone, you know, when you're in the sort of mode of skating.
Sure.
But I tell people all the time that type 2, or I don't have the exact words. I'm not a sports medicine graduate, but that I just have my experience of it. But that type 2 fast twitch muscle, type B, whatever they call it, fascia, it has to be pliable, because you're only using a few muscle groups to skate. You know, the peroneus muscle, which is the shin muscle, it's the calf, and then the IT band, and then up in the hips. You just use these same small muscles over and over and over again, and then they just knot up. Yeah. And they knot up, and then they stop working. So then it's like, okay, well, now you're just handing the work off to another muscle group. And the next thing you know, your shoulder hurts because your shin muscle's tight.
Too many kickflips.
Right? Yeah, but then you go to a massage dude, and they just, or you try working out your shoulder, not realizing the root of the problem is your shin muscle, because you're only using a few small muscle groups over and over again. They need to be pliable. They need to be released. Right. And then you get into like hydration of it and all that, but if you don't release those, you're actually kind of hustling backwards, because now your frame, whatever your frame may be, so every body is different, right? So this is where you can't talk about the boards without the person and what they're trying to do. Right. That's where it gets interesting, because it relates people's biomechanics to the physics of what a board is. So you get into like, I don't know, it gets to be fun in that way. And scientific. I like numbers. I'm a numbers person, you know, not only numerology, but just in an engineering sense too. I like to dive into it all. But going back to the muscle stuff, just to get that out there, because I've been running into it a lot lately. Like I had a friend who was having an issue with something, and I'm like, dude, like you have to release and stretch these muscles. Stretching alone is not gonna work, because you're just trying to stretch muscle that's basically inflamed and taut, right? And then you got to breathe. You got to breathe into it, because you need prana in the body. You need enough energy to run those muscles. So going back to, you know, the very sort of practical side of yoga, and the thing that animate, you know, you get enough energy and prana in the body to actually use those fast twitch muscles to pop and then release them. Tom Brady, the American football player, wrote a book, that TB12 book, that's all about pliability. So he relates his whole entire success story to the fact that everybody was training one way, which was bulking up and trying to become muscle football guys. He was like, was just training to just absorb. Right. So he added like way more pliability than he actually did strength training, which I think is, I mean, we're using traditional ball sports, but it's a biomechanic sort of body function that needs to happen with skating.
Yeah,
Because what happens is once those muscles tighten up, I've seen enough fucking knee surgeries in my life for the same fucking purpose that this needs to get out there. It's like your muscles are so tight, you're in your bones and joints now. You're in the frame. Your joints are now taking all of that impact.
Damn.
And then those things just go. Then you can't. It takes a lot of time to heal ligaments and joints. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to make sure you have you have enough strength in the type that whatever that you call it, type 2, type B fascia to get the body out of the frame, and then you can jump. Because if you think about when we go skate, obviously there's sloppy sessions, there's mini ramp sessions, but just again normal street session, you're jumping the whole time, and to sustain that over a number of times comfortably, you know, you just have to the muscles just have to be pliable and strong enough, and eventually it won't take much work. You won't have to do it, you know, because once they become strong enough, you won't have to go back and re-release them. They can now hold your weight, whatever that may be, because some people we're all different. Yeah, that's cool about it. But there are definitely, like, you know, if you're 6.5 feet tall, you need a longer wheelbase board. You need you know what I mean, so it's all that stuff. So it does relate to the board, but you have to have a certain amount of strength to like ollie and kickflip all day.
Could just a person just Google this like fascia thing and then figure out what the best exercises or stretches are for that?
Yeah, I mean, totally.
'Cause I've never really heard about this, to be honest. Like,
I went to a guy years ago that I just Googled, needed a sports massage guy. This is a long time ago.
Sure.
And I just Googled it. I was actually in downtown LA skating, and I was like, dude, it was like the beginning. Yeah, it was in downtown LA, and I was like, I need we were doing some film ad campaign thing for something. Okay. But it was like immediate, like, fuck, I gotta skate, you know? So I literally Googled sports massage guy, went to the guy, walked in, and I'm like, I had an ankle thing, right? And he looks at me, he's like, it's not your ankle, it's your calf. He worked on my calf for 15 minutes. The ankle issue that I had for like 6 months went away. And so he was able to see the root of the problem, not the fruit of the problem. And then I was like, oh, that guy's good.
Right.
And then I think Art, it's his name's his company's name is Extreme Sports Massage, I believe. He's still doing his thing, I think. But so and then he taught me things like you can just do it on your own, which is basically just know where to massage, which is, you know, a few it's like your calf and your shin muscle, and that's why foam rollers are popular now. This isn't rocket science. Sure. The only, you know, so foam rollers are good. Sometimes can't get those pressure, those points. I get pretty far with those, the Hyper Ice gun, massage gun.
Yep.
I go through them fast. I like burn them out though, you know, because like use them quite a bit. You can get pretty far with that. Okay. You know, and when you hit those spots, you'll be like, whoa. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit.
It's like when you're rolling out your IT band.
Exactly. Like, oh. Yeah. That's all it is. Yeah. That's all it is basic stuff that I just felt needed to be said before I get into like, oh yeah, you can stretch it or massage gun or foam roll. These are very practical, basic things. But I will add, just because I'm here, that a Kundalini yoga set is highly beneficial for somebody. And wasn't there runners trying to run a mile in like 4 minutes or something for a long time? And he I think his name was Rod Thorne, but he discovered Kundalini later in life, and he was like, well, if I had this, then I could break. I knew I had it in me, I just couldn't find it. Right. So he kind of sort of deduced like, oh, okay, I added that at the time. It would have given me the ability to do that.
Is that something that you have to build up to do? Or is it kind of, you can just learn and kind of get into it right away?
Can I go to Kundalini class right now?
Yeah. And you'll get immediate tangible results.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I'm
immediate
down.
Tangible results, yeah.
I need to look one up on Yelp, man.
Add it to the list, Chris.
Yeah, trust me, dude, I'm on a mission right now.
Wow. That's just, you know what's funny is like just growing up skating, we would just skate. We didn't think about any of this stuff. Mm-mm. So after this, I've healed from this, I kind of want to look into something outside of the skateboarding to get myself to be able to skate again. So I might look into that.
Yeah, 100%.
It would have been very rare at those times in like the early 90s to come across somebody that was really into these things. And if they were, you'd be like, dude, this is like how naive and weird we were at that. We were like, I'm not doing none of that shit. My God. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Working out was like crazy back then.
Whereas now, this is becoming like, as we are kicking the can, we're like, dude, we got to do something. We got to do something. So, it's rad to kind of hear, exactly your process and what you go through within the yoga experience, because I haven't thought about doing it, but I mean, hearing what you've said today, I definitely would entertain it. Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I feel like there's two parts, right? There's a part of like, as skaters, we just want to be able to skate as long as humanly possible, right? But then as like a human, we want to be able to like achieve or just feel as good as we can physically and mentally. You know what I mean? So it's like with those two combined, if you can like figure out your methods of making both of those happen, like that's the key, I feel like.
And with that attitude and these practices, you can totally achieve that easy.
Yeah.
And consistent practice is obviously going to get more results.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm already experiencing it with just running.
Yeah.
It's opened up a whole new, I feel my brain being rewired. My physical self is different now too. Like it's changing. It's weird.
You're getting the breath. It's like a breath exercise.
Yeah.
Breathing.
Yeah. Heard also like just having stuff go by, like just different little things. Running is supposedly just.
Yeah, endorphins.
Yeah, I've just heard about it. Totally like rewiring.
You could run like Satanama. You could say that as the feet hit.
What?
So
Satanama?
Yeah, like Satanama. Satanama. It's like Satnam, but like Satanama. You can add that to the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what does that do?
Satanama is a Kundalini yoga mantra representing the cycle of life, birth, life, death, rebirth, using Sanskrit sounds linked to Sat Nam. Truth is my identity. Each
Yeah, when you say it, the tongue tip hits the roof of the mouth in a certain sequential pattern and hits meridian points that affect the neurons in the brain, which then form that corresponding pattern. Mm-hmm. And now you have the pattern mentally. You become what you predominantly think about, so then you can project the psyche into the environments to get a certain result. And you're using the Satanama, which is the elemental base, the water, fire, air, earth. Ether space, internet, ethernet, that's the fifth one. For the elements, which everything, your body is made of those elements, right? So you want those in balance, and then that will give you the health along with it, the balance of the elemental forces while you're running, So it's super powerful situation.
Okay.
If you even just add that to
I'm going to.
See how simple it can be.
For sure.
And basic.
It's crazy, dude. I'm super down. I'm excited. I want to go run right now. I'm going to run home, I think, and just say it over and over again. Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I really am.
Yeah, so Satanama will give you control of the elements.
Okay.
I think it was Nikola Tesla who said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency, vibration, and sound. Everything's a sound.
And I'm not saying it in my mind. I'm saying it out loud.
Mm-hmm. You could.
Oh, you could do it in.
You can do both.
You can do both.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something I needed to say to have the frequency.
That you're going to get more of an effect, but you could do it mentally too.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all just you're getting that sound within you. Yeah, and then it kind of goes back to I'd rather watch Gino push, because there's like something coming through that's just of a higher caliber.
Dude, it's so true, man.
And some people just don't understand it. They're not on that wave.
Well, they don't want to understand it.
Different things for different people at different times,
Yeah.
And you got to let people work it out too at the same time. And inspiration is more valuable than knowledge in a lot of ways. And your success is universally beneficial. So
true.
And then that way they can do whatever they want.
Right.
I'm doing me.
True.
I mean,
and whatever the environments are going to do, I'm going to be happy, and I'm not going to abdicate that to the outside. Right. And if the environments are doing a certain thing that's making me feel, I'm off course. That's bad language. You made me feel. It's making me feel. I know. I choose that. That's part of it, and then I can affect it in a positive way to uplift. Doesn't mean I'm insensitive, right? Doesn't mean I don't have empathy, and those are key human qualities that kind of separate us from all the other interesting characters walking around on this planet right now. So those emotions are good and they make us human, but we just have to have that certain, ability to. It's a bad navigational tool. If you're feeling good, feeling bad, it's not necessarily indicative of your progress, and you don't need to get stuck in it. You can enjoy it on all levels, and Satanama will give you that ability. It will give you the ability to move the gears of the mind and infuse enough high frequency energy to maneuver things the way that you want to, which is going to help everybody around you and help those dudes and people that maybe don't want to, or again, people are working out different incarnations, and are here for different reasons on this planet, and we have to enjoy it with all the other characters, and that's okay, if they don't want to, so different things for different folks, different times, and also it's not for everybody, but it is for anybody.
Hey, that's good.
So they can practice and gain from it too. So, and spirituality is caught, not taught, they say too. So
it's interesting. Yeah, like you said before, it depends on the person's timing and all that. Because if you told me all this 10 years ago, I'd have been like, but like
100%.
I am at the point where I'm willing to receive, and
I think we're all just ready for like the truth, and of who we really are,
for sure. I
and
think
that's coming, and that's sort of it's coming to be, and coming as we move deeper into this time. So to me, that's inspiring, and to me, that's inspiring even in a skateboarding way. And I think it's like cool to, both.
Dude, I just want to.
So.
I want to evolve. I want to change. I want to be better. I want to, there's so many things that I think we can do on a daily basis,
Yeah. And if I walk into a store, I only have $10. I just limited, But if I walk into a store, I got 10 million. I just got more options.
Right.
So fuck it. I just want more energy. It's the whole game is I just want more energy, and I got more options. So whatever's happening to me, I have more options to maneuver and enjoy.
Man.
And so that's Satnam mantra. Satnama broken down is like super power.
I'm all about it now. Satnama.
It's a good one.
I'm gonna run.
You chant that when you run in there.
I'm gonna chant it going to bed tonight. What are you talking about? Just running.
Yeah.
No, man. This has been amazing, bro. Like I love, because here's the thing, man. We could talk about skating all day long. But there's so much more to life than just skating, and I feel like talking about all this stuff is good. Some people aren't ready to receive it, but some people are, and some people are ready to receive it, need to hear it,
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm ready, and I think that's what brought you into that chair right now, That's what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to try this new board here.
Dude, is that like literally for all the years you were trying to find a board or build it, is that the end perfect product for you?
For me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there is no madness anymore. It's like, oh, this is it. I don't have to tweaks to it or anything.
No, it's been that way for a while though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks, dude.
No, that's awesome.
And like I said, you can get this board on your website, pjlad.com.
Yes.
And,
get them while they still last.
You're selling them, and this is amazing, bro. I love it, dude. And it is a great shape, dude. And they come in what a 8. What size?
8-1, 8-3, and then I ride a 7-9, which I know is an odd.
Oh, you ride a
shape,
7-9.
I do.
Hey, me too, dog.
Which is funny because that's the one that sold out fastest.
Wow.
Which
Interesting.
I didn't think would.
Well, those are the people that actually pay attention real close to you and the kind of similarities in the way. So
I guess.
Let me ask you a question, just because if there's people out there, I remember I would try to copy people's setups. I think I stood on Eric Costin's board one time years and years ago, and I said, okay, this is the perfect board, dude. Eric Costin is riding the perfect board. I need to copy this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Click for clack, What trucks do you ride? What size are they? Wheels, bearings, bolts, stickers. No, but let's get, if somebody wants to get a feel for what a PJ lad is going to skate, like when they want to like replicate it, what would it be?
Yeah, so I ride in 51s. I ride in the Bones STF.
Okay.
It was a batch they had made actually a while ago, but I just have so many left
Got a
over.
bunch
I'm
of
still
them.
riding
Okay.
them.
Okay. So basic Bones 51, whatever the thing was, ST something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then actually I'm riding Thunders right now, but that's just kind of messing with something different.
Oh, really?
Experimental wise.
Oh, okay.
But
Because
usually Venture Highs.
Venture. Really? Because usually, because the trucks have a different, they're more out. They have a different, which
Yeah.
will affect your pop.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
Okay. So you're just experimenting with that. Usually Venture Highs. What size are the Ventures for this board? For
5.2.
7.9.
I ride the 5.2s.
5.2s. Okay.
Yeah.
5.2 highs.
Do you ride the 147 Thunders then?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny with all the board stuff. Everything else, I'm pretty like cool. Like doesn't-
Really?
Not like
You're not that.
I'm not just like
That is
board
interesting,
stuff.
Just the
dude.
boards.
I can kind of ride whatever.
That is the most
That's actually awesome.
Sate Nama thing I've ever heard. No, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That is fucking weird. That just blew out of all the
Yeah,
conversation we had
yeah.
today, and then you hit us with that.
Yeah, that is. I never knew
That's
that either.
insane. Okay, I
Yeah.
love that though. That's amazing, dude. And then what? Just some bones bearings, I would assume, or something.
Yeah,
like
I've been
that.
riding Swiss. Yeah.
Yeah, Swiss are
forever.
good. Yeah, love the Swiss.
What about the top color of the board?
Oh yeah, yellow tops, Ronnie Krieger.
So
That's it.
only yellow tops.
Yeah, I got them all in yellow. I mean, I put
Oh, every board is yellow.
I'm a huge fan of yellow as well. It's probably my favorite one. But
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was only yellow for you. But
I mean, colors have a frequency, dude. I mean, it's like the rainbow. Is the actual sequence of the visible light spectrum. So it's like low sort of your reds, and then your high ultraviolets. And it's like it's measurable into a number.
Yellow.
So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like red top stains. You've heard that, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's like red's like the lowest, red root chakra color.
Really?
Yeah, so the visible light spectrum and the chakra system or the energetic vortex system within the body is all the same light sequence.
Yellow's the highest?
It's higher.
Higher.
Yeah.
What's blue or purple?
Yeah, purple's pretty high.
Okay. I
Yeah,
like
I guess
purple
then you
tops.
get into those.
I like blue and
those.
purple tops.
Yeah, blue's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
blue's
is.
sick. Purple.
But yellow's the higher, dude. Okay.
What is
I don't know,
red the
but
worst?
that was basically a Ronnie inspiration.
Okay. Oh, you saw him riding it. The 3 bolts and the yellow top.
It's funny, right? It's how things stick with you.
Seriously.
That's tight, dude.
Impactful. Man. This has been an honor, bro. I love it. You got to come
Yeah.
back and hang out with us more often, dude. If you're down and rap
Totally.
out, talk about what. No, we don't even talk
Anytime.
about. We don't even have to talk about skating.
I enjoyed
Done.
the skate talk though. I like hearing, like you said, a lot of things behind the scenes that kind of blew my mind, to be honest. Like the Boston shoe was supposed to be a fucking 4-star shoe.
That's pretty
Okay.
sick.
Yeah, like
cool, I'm
little
glad.
things like that.
I loved it all. I loved it all.
Speaking of that, bro, I love that you're out there doing it, and
Are you working on a
Having
project
fun,
or
you know?
anything? Are you working on anything?
I would love to film a part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean you need to find a filmer, or you just want to go out and skate and film, or?
Just skate outside the 4 spots I skate every day. Because Stoner is good, but it's
A little, yeah, downhill.
It's downhill, and the granite ones are a little bit taller.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a consistent basic ledge. And
Yeah.
if you're trying to, it's not really that thought out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, what do we need to get you out there filming a part? Do we just need a filmer or something?
Yeah, I mean, I know filmers. It just comes down to me doing it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I think people would like to see that.
Shit.
Dude,
But
are you
people-
kidding me?
That's
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I genuinely though, when you post stuff on Instagram, it's really cool to see, and it makes people happy that grew up watching you skate. It's so thank you for doing that. I mean that from a very
No doubt.
not trying to like gas you up, but I was like, oh, sick. Like, I don't know, it's fun to watch, dude. So thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah,
Appreciate
dude.
that, brother.
Of course, dude.
Kelly, we go way back, man.
I know that trip,
I was thinking about it recently, Kayo.
dude. He would come down. It's just like he would go down to Carlsbad, and I was like a super fan. I'm a little younger than you, but I was a super fan of him and Gallant. And then all of a sudden, I got thrown in the expedition and then skating with Gallant, and then and I was like, this is insane. But I remember skating with you at Kayo, just meeting you there, skating flat ground, and it was so fun, man.
I remember we were hanging out in Nicole's office.
Yep.
So random.
Yeah. Nicole worked there, and we'd all just sit. You would come in there, and you would. They wanted you to ride for Expedition so bad back then.
Yeah, Troy wanted to start a company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which almost happened.
Surrounded around you, pretty much.
Gallant.
Oh,
and I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was like as GGK was starting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's Kelly,
I know.
we go way back, man.
Dude, I remember.
You rode your board backwards for sure.
Yeah, skated, popped everything off the nose for whatever reason.
PJ's like, who is this freak?
I didn't know because Kelly had shit out and 4-1s and work.
I was young. I was just getting on DC, but I remember one of the most craziest sessions was me, you, and Gallant went up to SF. And remember we kept going back to that 4 block in San Jose? Do you remember that?
Oh, vaguely.
You and him shared a room, but I remember skating this 4 block, and I was trying to. I think it was the day I shot my Who's Hot, not Who's Hot, checkup or check out in Transworld.
Nollie varial flip, maybe
hard flip.
Okay,
I hard flipped it, and it was the weirdest thing because Ryan is just I think he nollie varial flipped it, nollie backside flipped it, switch frontside flipped it, and did something else. And then I'm trying to hard flip this thing, and then you just keep switch flipping it over and over and over and over and over and over, and I'm stuck there just trying to hard flip, and it was like the funniest battle for me to watch. Like, okay,
two dudes just rifling off tricks, and you're just like, damn, trying to get one over here.
It was such it was like, this is the big dog moment, dude. Like, I'm the young kid. I got to do something here. But it was inspiring. It was fun to watch.
Was it just fun to switch flip or what?
No, that means I wanted to leave. I didn't want to skate.
Really?
But I wanted to skate because Gallant was skating.
Yeah.
So I was probably like, he's fucking killing it. Blvd was there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I remember it now. So I was like, I'm not going to I don't want to not skate. And I'm like, don't really care about this. Don't want to want to skate this spot.
Funny, dude.
So I'll probably, that's usually what. If I'm doing the same trick over and over again, that's what that probably means.
You just want to leave.
I was just like, this dude is just switch flipping it so many damn times. And it was a big set, so that was a trick back then.
Right.
Man, Gallant was on a tear at that time.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Fuck, he was fucking it up.
Did you land it, Kelly?
I did. It was my checkout. It was my checkout.
Yeah. Nice.
Shout out to Blvd and Greg Hunt. He was filming.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that was a wild trip for me. But yeah, no, dude.
Yeah,
I remember skating flat ground with you at the sand gaps. We'd go there late at night. I remember skating flat ground there with you. I don't know.
On the bike path, probably.
No active ledges were.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that.
Weird.
Yeah. Good times, man.
Not weird because it's just not the best ground. It's a little grippy ground over there at the sand gaps.
It was because
Just not getting kicked out, spot, nighttime, got lights.
the
Something.
lights. The lights was right there. That's why.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, the courthouse fountain ledge, because all the ledges at the courthouse, they're all different heights. So I just like to skate that little one.
And it's a good length too, so you can start going straight on. It's perfect length to grind, just whatever. So yeah.
Otherwise, I drive to Paul's.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a box there. That's what I'm saying.
You just want a box that's a perfect
just
length.
like a warm up spot or end the day spot. That's how it happens,
Right.
But no, I gotta get in this. I gotta get out street skating more.
Streets, bro. If you film a part in 2026,
yeah, it'd be cool.
Wow. Just do a fourth quarter part. Just get out there and just film a couple weeks and just come up with a part.
Hyper focus.
Last question before we wrap this up, but if you're gonna go out and film a part, are you pretty like locked in, or do you just want to go out and just go to a spot and freestyle it, or do you want to come up with trick lists? How do you do it?
Yeah, that's such a good question.
A little bit of both, maybe
the process.
Yeah.
The days where you just kind of go skating with homies and the crew, and you're just kind of going with the flow. Those are always fun.
Those are sometimes the best days.
Sometimes the best days.
The best.
Yeah.
The not planned days for me are the best days. Because when I overplan shit, it fucking always backfires, and I hate that. I like to just go out and skate and And if something happens, it happens. You
Mhm.
know, because sometimes it's the planning of shit.
Put a little
just-
more pressure on
Yeah, it
yourself.
puts-
You got
exactly.
the crew with
Exactly.
you. You got the filmer. You're bringing these people to come do that single trick. Now you're like, something's wrong. There's people around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
Maybe one best left for another discussion.
Yeah, we're gonna get you back here later this year again, dude.
Yeah, I'm down for dive.
Dude, you got to come back. You
Yeah.
got to come back. Because here's the thing, man. We could talk all.
Yeah, we could go on for a lot more time.
We
Something like
100% could, you know,
Yeah.
but that's the beauty of it. You know, you
Okay.
come back, come hang out. We'll talk about stuff we didn't talk about. PJ, we got some stuff for you, dude, if you don't mind to take home, you know. Got a couple 9 Club things
What?
if you want to take home. First of all,
Wow.
dude, PJ lad, man, dude, it was so awesome talking to you and hearing the stories and the Sunday
you.
top.
Thank
what was
you.
it again? I have to remember. I have to get it in my mind.
Satanama.
Satenama.
Satanama.
Satanama.
You got to pronounce it right, dude.
Satenama. Satenama.
Sata.
Satanama.
Sata-
Sata.
Satanama.
Satanama.
There you go.
Satanama.
Love this. Love that. It's
Satanama.
amazing.
I might have to replay this episode.
I remember an Old Dirty Bastard said that in one of his songs.
Did he really?
He said Santanama.
Oh,
You remember
no
that?
way. Old Dirty Bastards.
Old Dirty
Dude,
Bastard,
he
might have
was.
been
Yeah.
ahead of the game on that.
All right. We got a hat. I know you wear your hat. What is it called that you wear?
I just wrap my head up. I got long hair.
You got long hair,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, so I'll put a turban on, wrap it up, or just put it in a beanie. But
Okay.
yeah, my hair's really long.
What? How long? As long as Dubs? Dubs got
mean,
some length.
It's curly too.
Does it go down?
Yeah,
to
it
like
goes down. Yeah, I
mid-back?
pull it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's-
shit.
It's probably long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you wanna, here's a 9 Club hat. We got Richardson makes this beautiful
thank you,
hats
dude.
right there.
Look at this.
Or if you give it to the homie. If you don't want to wear it, just give it to
Sure.
somebody who really who
Heck yeah, man.
needs a hat or wants to rep it, dude. Our best hats in the business, I'll tell you, Richardson. Oh, you got a new sponsor today, man. Nuts and Bolts is our bolt company. I was just guessing that you ride
Sick.
Phillips. No.
No, I
Allen.
whatever.
Allen key?
I ride the Allen. Yeah.
Allen or
Yeah.
Phillips?
I ride the Allen ones.
Oh, you know what? I picked these out for Mike Mo. They're Phillips.
probably have-
He returned them to us because he doesn't skate anymore. But I picked them out for him. Phillips. We'll give you some Allen key after this.
Wow,
But yeah,
look
two
at that.
two
So
packs of
rad.
bolts, man. New sponsor. 9 Club T-shirt for you. Look at this.
Thank you, brother.
Navy's your color, dude.
I'll wear navy.
Navy's
I
good
only wear
color.
navy and blue, navy and white, or blue and white rather. So it's perfect.
I'll tell you this
And
right
orange.
now.
Those are my colors.
My favorite shoe colors: navy and white.
Yeah.
Favorite shoe colors of all time, dude. Oh, 9 Club Yeti. Coffee,
Wow.
yerba mate, whatever you
Mate,
want. It'll
some
keep
tea.
it cold. It'll keep it hot.
Yes.
Forever. Yeah, there's
Thank
our
you.
9 Club Yeti right
This
there.
is epic. Thank
And
you.
last but not least, I got to bless you with the 9 Club switch flip manual. All right?
Love that.
All right, dude. If you want to, there you go. Take that, man. Take that, PJ.
So good.
And again, you got to come back.
I think about this trick all the time because I skate the courthouse a lot.
I'm gonna tell you
Such
this,
a hammer.
man. It is a you skate the stage.
I was skating it the other day, but trying to get myself
What were you trying
skate
to
it
do?
more. Just manualing.
Okay.
Switch manualing.
Damn, you switch manual in that thing still, bro. It's
Yeah.
fucking hot.
He had some
dude.
sick shit on there, dude.
Man.
Yeah, I wanted to get more. It'd be
You
cool
should.
to get a trick on this. I mean, you have the trick of all tricks on the stage, but
Oh,
That's
thank you.
definitely the top of the food.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
next level. But yeah, if I got a trick on the stage, it'd be hyped.
Yeah, you got to get one.
another
dude.
one. Another
2026.
one.
Another one. Another
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
He did like
Another
another one.
This is sick. This is so rad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. You're the
Of
man.
course, dude. And thank you, PJ, for coming by. And again, we're gonna make it happen. We gotta get you back on the show. Come hang out with us. If it's not Ryan Gallant, Jeremy Rogers,
That'd be cool.
whoever you want,
Or the
you know?
live show, possibly.
or the live show. Come
Yeah.
hang out, talk skate with us, dude. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
dude.
Always down.
PJ Ladd, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, PJ.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Yeah, dude.
Shit, shit.